The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
All right, Easter Bunny auditions. First up, Liam Neeson.
Here comes Peter Cottontail. Easter is on his way.
This time, why don't we keep it light? Remember, it's for children and he's a bunny.
Eggs aren't the only thing that'll be dying tonight.
Well, thanks for coming in. We'll give you a call.
The only thing that makes me realize that Easter comes along is that the Cadbury cream egg rears its ugly head yet again. I don't know how that got pitched. There have to be, like, candy executives that pitch candy. Chad's got the idea. What do you got for Easter, Chad? Chocolate egg. There's something inside it. Boom. All right? And they're like, all right, awesome, Chad. What's inside it? Chocolate? More chocolate? No. Butterscotch? No. It's a sugary yolk. Yeah. It's like a sweet raw egg yolk. It's like an undeveloped chicken fetus inside an egg. You're fired, Chad!
Someone's getting into the Easter spirit.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Easter's this Sunday. Anyone excited about Easter?
the weekend.
Oh, man. F this.
That's your usual Friday mode. That's how I know it's our Friday.
F this. Welcome to the show. 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. It's our Friday program. Don't you know? Ain't that something? Easter, you say in the intro. Right, Josh?
Here it comes.
We're not much of an Easter group at my household. You folks can have Easter. It's all yours.
Deal.
Yeah, you guys have it.
I will also give my Easter to the rest of you.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's not a thing.
I love Easter.
I don't really do much
about ham.
Yeah, ham and cheesy potatoes.
I love ham.
Heck yeah.
Here we go with the food again.
Well, that's like half of what you do on Easter is eat.
Yeah.
Unless you do, I mean, that's all you usually do unless you are a child and you like to go egg hunting or whatever.
Yeah, I was an uncle, or I guess I still am an uncle.
Thank goodness. Otherwise, there'd be some terrible news coming
I
our
was
way.
worried there for a second.
But just like walking around outside getting to hide Easter eggs, that was always fun. You put them in extremely tough places for the 5-year-olds. I love that.
Yeah, my wife was
Put it in a hornet's nest.
my wife was saying a couple weeks ago how excited she was for Easter dinner, and then she left me for a professional athlete. It was that was tough.
God,
Sorry.
She was excited, though.
Very excited.
Now she's even more
is,
excited to have with the famous athlete.
Easter is Sunday. April Fool's Day is coming up on Monday, if that matters to anybody. That's another one that never really grabbed me, April Fool's Day.
Well, I used to think that was pretty fun. But I have, since it's kind of lost its luster, I guess, a little bit. Mm-hmm. You could only, and the big kids moved out, so, you know.
I was going to say you lost some victims.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. That was fun pranking them.
When the stepkids moved out, you lost your targets.
Yeah, they were fun to mess with.
So there you go. Easter on Sunday. Yeah, all that ever really comes to mind for me when Easter hits is my first official overhang, Easter Sunday, 1989. And I think I tell the story every year, but that was my first official overhang. It was caused by a long night of strip poker and Budweiser beer. Woke up on Easter morning and I was only a 17-year-old kid, and I said to myself, what is that horrible feeling that's come over me? I feel awful. I feel like I'm going to puke. My head hurts. I was totally thrown. It was my first overhang.
I used to get kind of excited as a little kid, believe it or not, to go to church because we could stay up late, right? You go to midnight mass. It's a Catholic church, so you get home around 1, 2 p.m. after they wrap things up.
12 hours.
But I always thought it was cool, and it's kind of like Game of Thrones, it's just dark subjects and, all this, well, I was going to say pageantry. Maybe that's not the way to put it, but everybody's kind of dressed up in different, like what are they, like a cloak of some sort, and it's just...
What?
I don't know, it was kind of... mysterious for me as a little kid.
Did you guys
Sounds like it.
have the candles and stuff you lit too?
Yep, you'd have the candles.
Wait a
Everybody would
minute.
have-
There was a dark vibe to Easter Mass?
Well, yeah, I mean, the crucifixion and stuff was a pretty dark story.
Yeah, it was.
And they would put on outfits to emphasize the darkness of
Yeah,
the...
and then sometimes they'd reenact some of this stuff.
Come on. Are you joking with me?
No, for real.
Whoa. So you're
They'd have like a dude carrying the cross, and they'd reenact some of it. And I remember being terrified as a little kid.
You're a little kid. This was midnight mass, whatever.
Yep, midnight mass.
And they'd put on this violent program for you. I can see how that would be a draw as a child.
Yeah, because you're terrified of it, right? So, and again, you're staying up till midnight. When my parents never let us stay up late.
I was a Catholic kid, up until I think my brother and I officially retired from going to church when we were about 10. But I don't remember them ever putting on a graphic, violent, dark program for us.
Yeah.
I feel kind of left out.
Yeah, they never acted anything out for us, but we had the dark vibe too.
Cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean,
I
like
missed out on all
Josh said,
this.
Puts a cool twist on church.
Yeah,
What's that?
It's a pretty brutal story of how he passed.
Oh, they kicked his ass. Yeah, I know the story. Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's like a funeral in a sense,
I know the story.
Yeah.
They kicked his ass.
Yeah, did you see the Passion of the Christ?
Oh, boy, yeah.
I missed that one.
Whew, that is
Wowee.
brutal.
Yeah.
Holy heck.
Was that the one from like 15 some years ago?
Yeah.
With Mel Gibson's or something?
Yeah, he's the one that was behind the movie. Yeah,
Never
Jim
saw it.
Caviezel, I think, played Jesus.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, that was
That's a big role to fill.
That was a long day for that dude.
Yeah. Didn't they? I heard they put like they strapped a board or something to his back when they were whipping him, and still sometimes they missed him, so they got the sides of his back and everything.
What are we talking
Oh, you're
about?
talking about the actor.
Yeah, the actor.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a long day for Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, man. After a while, you're in the theater going, okay! Just stop!
We get it!
God, that was really tough, man.
Oh, no wonder the Catholic vibe hit you a little harder than most, Josh. I didn't know you were strolling into church in the dead of night and they put on some kind of community theater murder show for you.
That's terrifying.
You're awake all night. Ah!
What was more brutal, the Passion of the Christ stuff or the Ramsay Bolton stuff from Game of Thrones?
Well,
I don't know the second
No, me neither.
story.
That was pretty brutal, too.
Ramsay Bolton from, I don't know that story.
That was brutal.
Did they beat him up pretty good?
He kind of went after some other people.
He did what?
He went after some other people. He did some brutal stuff.
He
to some
had it
people.
coming, though.
Yeah.
He did the beating or he took a beating?
He
I don't know.
did some beatings and then he took a beating. You were happy when he took the beating.
People are saying Jim Caviezel got hit by lightning while filming The Passion of the Christ?
No, he did not.
Is that true?
Of course it's not true.
Wouldn't you think I have made a terrible mistake? I'm sorry, Jesus.
Yep.
He did not get hit by lightning while they filmed the friggin' movie.
It's
is not
according to
my last
Wikipedia, he did.
No, he didn't.
So did a key production assistant was struck twice by lightning.
You know
Are
what
you
else?
kidding me?
And was nicknamed Lightning Boy as seen in the credits.
None of that ever happened.
I would just,
Yeah,
I would
Marilyn
just leave the
Manson had
set.
a rib removed, too, so he could give himself a BJ.
I would just leave the set. Yep, that was my last day.
Isn't it like some type of, I don't know, like commandment where like you're not supposed to portray yourself as Jesus Christ?
Well, I don't know if that's a commandment.
I think there's something like
maybe.
You'd have to. Josh would be the guy to answer that question.
Yeah.
Made that one of the,
Like,
nobody ever portray me. That's commandment number.
Maybe it was an amendment.
That could be an
Thou
amendment.
shall not impersonate me.
no, yeah, you shall not make yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above or on the earth beneath or in the waters below.
Well,
Exodus 24.
Yeah, but it's
whatever
not.
that means.
It's not like the way I understand. It's not like you're saying, "Hey, I'm Jesus." It's you're making yourself
Yeah.
like a false god. Not to get
Yeah.
real religious here, but I think that's a little
Oh.
different.
Yeah.
What are you
Good to
doing?
know.
What are you doing over there? What are you have a Bible open or what?
No, I just looked up as if it was messed up to portray Jesus in a movie.
I didn't know if, we're in separate studios. I didn't know if the three of you had a pre-show prayer over there.
No, that is honestly the only thing I've ever read from the Bible.
Shell Jesus said he saw The Passion of the Christ in theaters.
Oh.
The old lady next to her was sobbing uncontrollably when the beating started.
That is awful.
That's a hell of a movie.
Did you ever watch 10 Commandments back in the day, Josh?
I'm sure I did.
The old movie.
And I'm not even Josh.
I don't remember that.
I have vague memory. The old movie from like the 50s, 60s, the 10 Commandments. Yeah, I have vague memories of it.
When the what was it? The death.
The death.
I just had it and now I lost
The Grim Reaper?
No, there was like a fog or something that went over the town and killed some people. I was always scared about that part. I was like, oh my God.
Are you referring to, you see, for those who are religious out there, we apologize.
Yeah,
Josh is the only one who knows what he's talking about, and we're sitting here tossing goofy stories. Are you referring to Sodom and Gomorrah?
I think it was the Angel of Death, they called it.
Angel of Death. We don't know what we're talking about.
Do you remember History of the World Part 1,
Yes.
Mel Brooks film? And Mel Brooks comes out and he's like, he's got these tablets are the 15 commandments, and he drops one and it shatters. The 10 commandments. I remember my dad rolling watching that.
That was so funny.
Never saw it! But,
I'm surprised you haven't seen that.
But that...
Seems like a movie you'd like.
Yeah, I don't know why I never got around to it, but that gimmick that you just talked out was in the trailer.
Oh, was it really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I do remember that because it was in the trailer that they played on my television.
Yeah, yes, people are texting, and you were referring to Passover. I'm just trying to stay out of this one. I don't want any religious people getting pissed off. But yes.
We have no idea what we're talking about.
No clue at all.
But yet it's just how we
Let's
operate.
keep going. I'm starting to get nervous.
All right, God help us all. That much I do know. There is a God above, and he's here to help us all.
It's kind of his gig, right?
Later on this morning, we'll fire up the Dad Fights machine. Randy Shaver versus Brad Ryder. It's a trivia gangbang. It'll be fun. I think we got a good one this week for the boys. And then later, I believe we'll be bidding a friend a fond farewell. Our hot little porn star friend, Jordan Maxx. Word is, well, she'll be swinging by, right?
Yeah.
Nothing's changed?
Nope.
And the word is she's swinging by to say adios.
Yeah, she's going big time.
She's moving her little body out to California to bang her porno movie career into a higher level. So it's going to be goodbye to Jordan Maxx later on this morning.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I mean, she's got I guess she feels the need to why fly back and forth when you can just go get yourself an apartment in Hollywood and just start banging. Are the penises and vaginas just a higher quality out in California, maybe? I don't know.
Well, that's where she's been getting most of her penis and vagina.
Yeah.
So
are they just built better out there?
I think the porn industry is a little bit bigger in California than it is here.
They bring in...
of course.
They import penis and vagina from around the country.
Of course, the porn scene. I'm just really honestly, are they better? Are the penises and vaginas are they better out there?
Let me real quick. What a turn of events this show has had.
Yeah.
I think they are because they import them,
Yes.
so the best comes there.
The pretty
it's an
people
aggregate of
flock there.
Right, of the best genitalia from around the world.
Well, that's going to be tough.
Because I bet there's just as many nice penises and vaginas in Minnesota. But, a lot of times it'll be an export. Maybe that's our state's really gross domestic product. We export it all to California. I wonder who has the nicest genitalia within these studios.
You wonder what now?
Who has the nicest genitalia? Like picture perfect. Could make some money on OnlyFans.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I'm taking myself out.
Yeah, me too.
I'm always... How do you compare?
We need an expert. Well, we'll have to. Jordan Maxx. That's what she does. That's part of what she does for a living.
Oh yeah, she does. Do
Truthfully,
those ratings.
makes money to rate your genitalia.
How do you compare? I don't know. Whatever one is probably the biggest and the cleanest. That's about it.
Clean is good.
Yeah, it's important. Just saw a survey the other day. I was kind of surprised by this number. 45% of men say it's very important to them that their genitals and their body is clean when they're with a new intimate partner.
That should be higher.
I would just, that's what kind of shocked me too.
Nasty.
There's 65% of men, 55% of men that just don't care.
I wonder what that percentage is for women. I bet it's much higher, right?
Yeah, this was more asking about men, but yeah, it's probably is.
Not even half of us care if we're filthy or not when we have a first encounter with a woman. That's what you're saying?
Yeah,
not even half of us care.
I would really care because I'm hoping to get a return invite.
Yeah,
most likely.
I guess that makes sense because no matter what guy it is, no matter like how clean they look on the outside, I will always ask like, when's the last time you washed your hands? Can you just wash your hands quick?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I don't need to get any type of weird disease that you picked up from a railing or something.
Box Tossing Jesus said, if I'm being honest, I have beautiful genitalia. You know what? I bet you do.
That's nice to have confidence like that.
And completely unrelated, we can get pictures right now on the Luther Kia Bloomington text line, 651-989-9393.
I will not be looking at text today.
Oh, I will be hitting F5 refresh over and over.
That could turn out bad. Yeah, I mean, I guess, back in the day, when I was going out looking to pick up women, yeah, I guess I cared to clean myself up just in case.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure everyone here is giving themselves a bit of a whore's bath, just kind of splashing water on it in the sink right beforehand.
But I bet that really only factored in half the time.
Meaning you just didn't think about it or you didn't care?
Just didn't. Both. Didn't think about it and didn't care. You ever had that encounter, boys or ladies, with somebody, a one-nighter, where once you got the clothes off, you or the person you were ready to tangle with apologized for their lack of grooming?
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. No.
It's kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quite a bit. And
I wasn't expecting this.
Right, exactly. They say, they pull the pants and the underwears off, and before they get all the way off, they say, just for the record, sorry, I wasn't expecting for this to happen. Right?
Yeah, it's usually always followed with the guy being like, that's nothing.
What?
Oh, all right.
I didn't understand what you meant by that.
Like apologizing, like, oh, sorry, like last time I shaved was like 4 or 5 days ago. And they'll be like, that's literally nothing. Like, I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. I've had much worse.
Oh, no, dudes, we don't care. Yeah.
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 I was not aware of that. I'll still apologize every time, though. It's weird. I don't know. Self-conscious.
I've never had anyone say, right before we get to the main event, I've never had anyone say, sorry, I haven't showered in a couple days.
Yeah, that'd be scary.
I mean, mainly because, that is a little off-putting. And you might as well, at that point, once the clothes are almost off, you might as well just go for it and hope that they don't notice, right? Yeah. But I have had a couple women say, hey, before we get to this, sorry, I haven't run the trimmer in a little while.
I do remember the first time I was with someone who I don't think ever trimmed it up, and I was confused. Like, I didn't know this is what could happen. Like, wow, like this is what happens when you don't do anything about that? It's crazy. I was shocked.
You mean you had always seen from the beginnings of your sexual activity, you had always experienced a cleaner surface, and then one day later in life you...
Because how the styles had changed.
Right.
Right, I thought maybe I transported in a hot tub time machine back to the 1970s. But no, this was
So by the time you first started getting active, it was trendy to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, not like it became where there was nothing going on.
Right.
Something. And but this was everything.
Okay, I got it.
Kind of like she combined the entire neighborhood all at once.
See, when I started, yeah.
She's wearing a merkin.
When I started, everything was still a thing.
Oh, was it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Everything was still a thing. Grow it all the way out. That was still the thing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And then it went to dummy it down a little bit, and then it advanced to nothing. So I know what you're talking about. I remember when everyone was fully aware of the nothing trend, where you trim every damn thing. You look like a toddler, right? I remember encountering a woman who was wearing that 70s look. And she was this hip, young, she was an athlete even. And I remember after a stretch of time, I built up the courage to say, you know, what the hell's going on down there? And she said, what do you mean? And I said, you got everything going down there. And she said, yeah. She was totally lost on what the new trends were as far as genitalia styles, right? And I even said, I said, you know, you're an athlete. When you're in the locker room with the ladies, you don't notice that everyone else has a completely different look? And she still said, oh, no, not really. She totally, I was thrown by that.
Good for her, I guess.
You know how you can watch like a documentary on a town and then it'll start out black and white and they just kind of, they're filming the exact same location and they show it over the years. Eventually it's in color and you just see the progression of the town, right?
Sure.
All of a sudden,
Sure.
there's a like a rich field and then eventually it's a Walmart and then the Walmart closed at something else. You could probably do the same thing with a groin, someone's groin, and you could tell the decade.
Yes, you could.
Like what's going on.
Yes, you could.
I mean, assuming they stay up with trends.
Yeah, right. If they...
Maybe that's a game we should play.
You know...
Like, I'm going to guess that's 1975.
Right.
There.
You're right about that. Unless they're completely oblivious to the trends.
Yeah, it'd have to be somebody that's aware of what's going on.
Like this gal I encountered 20 years ago where I just thought, you say you really don't know that?
And at the end,
she had no idea.
At the end of the movie, it zooms out and it's Dana's mom.
I was Good Friday.
I know. I don't know what to do.
So
I was talking to Dana off here the other day. I'm like, your mom's the only one that I know is comfortable with me going. I thought about going after my mom, but I thought that might be kind of gross. If a guy goes after his own mom.
So back to the reference you were making, Josh, like the full Bush days were like an old black and white photo of a rail car going down the center of the city street. And then the cleanly shaven days is there's a mall.
Right.
There's an Uber.
There's a light rail.
Yeah, an Uber and a light rail. Yeah. It's a beautiful way to put it.
There's a Starbucks and a Crispin Green or something like that.
We could play that game.
Right, and you know, in the original, there's like a guy in a suit smoking a pipe. Today, it's a vape.
Looking at his phone.
Yeah, there's a kid. Oh yeah, looking at his phone.
Do like a TikTok challenge.
Right.
A guy on one of those big, massive front wheel bicycles. You know what I'm talking about? And it advances to a, what do I ride? What's this thing?
An e-bike?
An e-bike, yeah, right. So there you go. Dad fights Jordan Maxx. The farewell. Goodbye, Jordan Maxx.
Yeah, hopefully when she comes back to town to visit, she'll stop by our studio or something.
Yeah, and bring us some copies of her movies.
That's good that she's... You know, her career's picking up even further than it was.
Exactly.
Another one. We've made someone else, haven't we? We've made someone a star again. All right, here we go. Friday morning. Hope everyone's doing all right. We got plenty to do. Josh said yesterday, he said this out loud and into a microphone, and I'll reiterate it now. Listen all weekend long for your shot to win Twins home opener tickets.
Dude.
It's going to be a big weekend here on 93X. Dumping Twins home opener tickets all weekend long. Starting today after 5 is when you've got to listen so you can find a seat over there at Target Field. We'll take a breather and come back here in a few minutes on the Half-Ass Morning Show.
half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
What companies would you want to work for? Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks which companies are a force for good. Companies like Bank of America, which just earned the prestigious Just Capital 2024 seal. Bank of America is ranked #1 in the banking industry and #1 for their ongoing commitment to workers, offering best-in-class benefits, including a minimum wage of $25 an hour by 2025. Visit justcapital.com to learn how a just business is a better business.
Furnished by Just Capital.
Stupid news on the half-assed morning show.
Here we go. We were talking a few minutes ago about our old porn star friend, Jordan Maxx. She's going to swing by the radio station this morning, have a little chit-chat with us. She's got some bad news. She's moving. She's leaving town. She's going to California. Try to, what's the term, Josh?
Keep in touch.
Advance her porn career.
Right.
Makes sense. You go to where they're making all the porn. So it's going to be a bittersweet kind of a thing this morning with Jordan Maxx because she's getting the hell out of here. Got a couple of texts on, I wondered, why would she leave? Are the penises and vaginas just that much better in California? Got a couple of texts. One listener says the climate alone would make genitalia more presentable.
That's a good point.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, you're not going to get winter penis in California.
Our gear goes through a lot with our climate. It does. Another text was sent in to say that diseases are better and more abundant in California. I thought Minnesota was whooping some serious ass when it comes to STDs.
Yeah,
I thought we were climbing the ladder in that game.
Thankfully, we are.
We are.
I'm glad we're getting the recognition. I think specifically like gonorrhea, maybe.
Ooh, I had that.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
I had gonorrhea.
Yeah, I see where this person's going. I'm sure that there's all kinds of things you can catch in California, but I thought you didn't have to leave Minnesota if you want to catch some top-notch sexually transmitted diseases. I think we're doing quite well.
No, there's a lot of things we're good at here in this state, and that's one of them.
All right, then, because this show is completely twisted, in our first conversation of the day, we also talked about Jesus. It's Easter on Sunday, a big day for, Jesus fans. If you take my advice, if you bother taking my advice, if you have a chance today or this weekend, you should listen to Sam Kinnison's bit from 35 years ago, the late, great Sam Kinison. You should listen to his bit on if Jesus had a wife, how she never would have believed him when he told her the story of how he died and then returned from the grave. It's really, really funny. I revisit it every once in a while, even on non-religious holidays. He talks about how, Jesus leaves town on a Friday with 12 of his friends and doesn't come home till Monday. And he plays out the whole, if Jesus had a wife, she'd probably have a typical wife reaction when he got home. So, where were you? Hanging out with your loser friends?
No, I died.
And then I got to come home to this, right?
But there is, on a weekend, there is always that one friend that'll betray you, isn't there? There's a Judas in every group.
Absolutely. All right, let's go this way now. Let's take a crack at the stupid news. This is just awful. It's absolutely terrible. It's a brutal way to start today's stupid news report, but I got to go ahead anyway. It's another example, Josh, of why I think it might be a good idea to start cutting peckers smooth off of certain fellas that we got running around.
I'm with you. I've had various punishment ideas in the past. None of them have taken off, but I totally agree.
You've had great ideas. It's just you don't have the resources.
Well, yeah, some of them are... It's going to be real tough to develop my punishment volcano.
Right.
Where you dip let's say, a pedophile in there very slowly.
Right. You've been working on the discipline punishment volcano.
Yeah, I've got my punishment volcano, the discipline piranhas. I think that might be more attainable. That's possible. I just got to get a big tank and, of course, some piranhas. A friend of mine, go ahead.
Need a trapdoor, too.
A trapdoor, like with some spikes under it, like a big spiky pit, or snakes, or both?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Not a bad idea.
Or like Austin Powers, have sharks down there with lasers on their heads.
Frickin' lasers.
Yeah.
We got to start cutting peckers off, I think. And here's another example. Why? An ice cream vendor in where the hell is it? India. An ice cream vendor in India. He got caught tossing off on the damn ice cream.
Oh, that is so gross.
And then mixing it in.
In case you didn't already think that.
You know what I'm saying?
The peppermint.
Bold take, Josh.
I realized that as I said it. I thought, what a dumb thing to say.
Don't do that to ice cream.
And
Ice
then he
cream is
mixed it
sacred.
in. He mixed it in, Ashley. After he mixed it in.
I will not have the cookies and cream. No, thank you.
And then he served it to folks.
I don't even want to know what's in the rocky road.
Just disgusting. Now, I can't really tell because of the language barrier here. With the way the story was written, I can't tell. And maybe this doesn't matter at all, but I like to paint a better picture. I can't tell you if he was pushing an ice cream cart around town, or if he had a truck, or if he had his own shop summers, but I guess that doesn't really matter. The dude was allegedly caught by local folks who pointed a camera at him when he wasn't looking. And I guess there he was, popping one off on his ice cream and then mixing it in.
Just don't get it. I don't understand.
Somebody threw that video up on something called a WhatsApp group. The cops saw the video and they rushed over to put this puke bag under arrest.
I mean, that can't be fixed, right? That guy can never get out of jail.
Nope. The part that's like really disturbing is the majority of people that go out to ice cream shops or like ice cream trucks are children.
Oh, and I'm sure that had something to do with it, right?
Oh.
Because he's making his spermony there for everybody to consume. Now that I think about it, I grew up in Minneapolis, and we'd go to the lakes a lot for entertainment. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of those bicycle ice cream guys, as a kid, I was just so enamored with the ice cream. They did look kind of sketchy looking back.
Sure.
I'm not saying that they took care of themselves into the product there, but they look like the type of guy that might do something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't remember at all. I think maybe because of the excitement of the ice cream truck rolling through my neighborhood and getting my hands on a bomb pop. You kind of get tunnel vision during those real exciting moments in life. I have no memory of the appearance of any of my neighborhood ice cream men or women. Our bus drivers were the ones that looked like dangerous people.
Yeah.
I never had a dangerous looking bus driver.
I did.
I know that's the stereotype. You see it in movies and cartoons and stuff, but we never did.
And what I mean by is school bus drivers, I didn't mean to, like I was taking a city. Our school bus drivers were the ones that I still remember all of their faces because each of them looked more dangerous than the next. All right, the cops took a sample of this guy's ice cream and sent it off to a lab of some sort so they can test it for spuzz. And if it is all spoogy, this guy's a goner. They'll put him away.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are with me, right? that can't be fixed.
No, that's
Not a
if
chance.
you're
beyond repair.
If you're there, you're not going to figure that out.
Not enough therapy in the world.
Nope.
Well, here's a listener that says, this is the Oddball Jesus. I don't know, dude. I mean, how can you try and figure out someone who's that disgusting and insane? But the Oddball Jesus says, I almost want to say that this guy yanking off on the ice cream is a weird dominant thing. You could be right, but again, how do you figure out someone who's twisted enough to do something like that? What motivates them? I have no idea. On the surface, I just think he's a sex pervert, but maybe there's deeper things going on, deeper meaning behind what he was doing. Luckily, I'm not the person who has to answer those questions. All right. Apparently, it was a big day yesterday in India for sick and disturbing behavior. Because next up is a dude who was effing killed dead. And now brace yourself for this. I ain't kidding. The dude died because one of his bros, quote, pumped hot air into his rectum for fun. I'm telling you, that's not right.
I think you guys are missing the subcontext of the story. This is really a story about friendship and what one friend is willing to do for another friend's enjoyment. Can you imagine if one of your buddies asked you to do something like that? Now just grab this this hair dryer and stick it up my butt and turn it on.
I would never talk to them again.
All right, we're going to get back to this in just a minute. Maybe my delivery was off. I've confused Ronin engineer Jesus with that ice cream semen story. He texted in to say, what? There's sperm on the ice cream, but it didn't belong to that guy? I think when I was talking about how the cops are going to test the ice cream, he might have gotten confused. And in case anyone else got confused, they're not testing to find out whose spuzz it was. They're just testing to make sure it is spuzz. Okay, Ronin engineer, I didn't mean to freak you out, because that would be extra freaky if they find two separate semen samples on. They know it's. You see what I'm saying?
Or if he brought someone else's product in to put into the ice cream.
Right.
That would have been gross.
All right, let's get back to this. Okay. I just wanted to clear that up. I hate to leave anyone confused.
Well, Taylor texted in and was surprised. He said, what, you guys don't like your ice cream with nuts? I do not. Not that kind.
Dude got killed. The details are absolutely out of this world. The dead guy, he only made it up to 24 years old. His name was Yogesh. And his bro goes by the name of Murali. So here we go. Yogesh. It says here his colon popped like a zit on prom night. Murali put the nozzle end of a blow dryer into Yogesh's rectum and hit the switch. And it blew his buddy's insides out his ass. They call the blow dryer here in the story, they call it a powerful electric blow dryer used to dry vehicles. One of these guys, Yogesh or Murali, one of them worked at a auto shop or a car wash or so. So they're messing around at work.
So this is like high quality.
Can you imagine?
I imagine it.
Yeah, that's high powered.
Yeah.
I don't recognize what it means to be a powerful electric blow dryer used to blow. I don't know what that means. I don't wash my vehicle enough to know what that. But I imagine it's got some pop to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like to make a comparison, like a garden hose to a power washer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good comparison.
And apparently this was done for fun. They're horsing around. They're playing around with this blow dryer thing at the car wash, auto shop, whatever the hell it was. There's, Murali is spraying Yogesh with it. Oh, I sprayed it in your face. I sprayed it. And then it advanced to where Yogesh has the nozzle put up his can. and the other guy hits the switch. And the poor guy's guts got blowed out.
That's a typical dude story.
I don't know,
wait a minute,
dude.
That's a typical dude story?
Just like progressing. Like, you're so bored
I know
at
what you
work,
mean.
And then you just keep progressing to more and more.
It usually doesn't progress that far, though. But we know what you mean.
Thankfully.
Murali did rush Yogesh to the local hospital, but it was too late. And police arrested Murali. I just can't understand how in the world these fellas came up with an idea like that and then went through with it.
There's no way, yeah. If I'm the dude that's flipping the switch, there's no way I could.
These guys aren't 3 years old. I can see 3-year-olds making that mistake because they're, tinkering around with each other's gear. You know how little kids are, right? These guys are grown. All right, fine. We've had a hell of a lot of fun so far with this powerful air dryer, but what if I bent over and you inserted it into my bottom and you hit the switch? Let's try that. How can that be? How did they settle on that?
Sure, bro. Let's go.
Why didn't we think of this sooner?
Yeah, right. Ready? 1, 2.
All right, after I do it to you, you do it to me too. Oh, no, I'm good now. I'm good.
Got a text here saying those hoses can cut your skin or even kill you. You shouldn't even point it at yourself, much less insert it someplace.
Didn't someone say something about a power washer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you see, a couple of my buddies, this is nowhere near on the same scale of putting a powerful air hose in your best friend's butt and hitting the green go button. But a couple of my friends many years ago, well, they were in their early 20s, just like these cats, they were messing around with a power washer. Well, they weren't messing around. They were cleaning off these old vats that mixed ceiling texture and wall texture. There were decades of dried wall and ceiling texture on these mixing vats. And they were in charge of getting out this super power washer and spraying the decades of dried material off of these vats. And it fascinating how well this power washer, with the heat and the power behind it, it was fascinating how easily they could just wipe that vat clean. One of my buddies, though, similar to this, but not quite. He thought it would be a fun idea to take that power washer and spray it at the other guy's foot.
Oh, no.
It just didn't, even though he was watching, the power of the machine he was using, he thought, let's have some fun. Well, he just blew the shoe top right off of the other guy and just peeled the skin right off the top of his damn foot.
Oh, no.
And he's just, until he realizes that, okay, we got to go to the emergency room because I was horsing around too much.
My dad taught me about power washers when I was a very young child. Like, I won't use one because I'm afraid I'm going to somehow, nick my skin.
You could handle mine sucks. I should have spent a little more money on mine. Mine does nothing.
It's worth the extra bucks.
Sounds like you got a vacuum.
No, you bastard. Wife plowing Jesus, I totally know what you're saying. He said, I can see the dude blowing up like Tom from Tom and Jerry once they put them back there. He just starts floating away.
Man. As you all know, there are plenty of grown folks who dress up and play pretend cop. They drive around town playing imaginary cop. They pull folks over because it gives them a weird authority boner or something like that. In my opinion, you guys know this. Those are some of the saddest sumbitches you'll ever see. Well, now, here comes the pretend firefighters, too. A 37-year-old man in North Carolina named Christopher Miglino was arrested a couple days ago after he refused to leave the scene of a fire. He showed up before the fire department at some kind of house fire or something or another, and he whipped out a garden hose and started battling the fire.
That'll do it.
Which, okay, great, thanks for your help, but when the actual firefighters showed up, this idiot wouldn't get out of the way.
He's doing that move where you put your thumb over like the nozzle a little bit to get a little harder spray, you know? No, guys, I got this under control.
Yeah, don't worry, professionals. I'm your guy.
And it's funny that you say this because according to the firefighters, the guy was basically saying to them, no, it's cool, guys. I got this. And they repeatedly asked him to get out of the way. He wouldn't do it. And also, he had put on some kind of actual fire gear. So, I mean, did he start this fire? It's not mentioned in the story.
I wonder if there'll be a follow-up saying that. Would not be surprised.
He just would not get out of the way. So, he was arrested. What the hell's the matter with you?
Yeah, that's odd, man. Can you? I wish we could talk to one of the firefighters to know exactly what they're thinking. Like, are you kidding me? This guy's really not going to leave. That's where you turn the fire hose on him.
Right? Yeah,
you give the fire hose treatment.
I don't picturing a guy just getting wiped out by the fire hoses.
Yeah, just some dude. He was in FDNY gear in North Carolina. You know.
Oh, he was in what?
He was in New York Fire Department gear in the store here in North Carolina. So it's not like that, oh, maybe a guy in a neighboring department is over here to help. He was driving by.
Yeah, see, that sort of tells me that he might be some kind of nut job who's obsessed with fire or fire departments or something.
Yeah, he's got something going on.
Who effing knows? How frustrating would that be? Hey, look, dude, step aside.
Yeah, as this text says, a 2.5-inch hose to the guy's legs would have solved that issue real fast.
You just sweep him right out of the way, right? Some poor bastard in Japan died from jacking it on an escalator.
Oh, no.
I don't mean to interrupt, but
Oh, no, I read that wrong.
I don't think that's how the story goes.
You're right, I read that wrong.
Maybe I read it wrong.
No. The guy died because his jacket got caught in an escalator.
Okay, yeah, that's...
I'm sorry.
That's what I thought.
That's a little different.
I'm sorry, you're right.
That's... Between the two, I'd rather go in the way you described. If I had to go, if I know I'm dying at the end of the day. Jacking it, at least I got to jack it. Versus my jacket.
Okay, right. Dude died in Japan because his jacket got caught in an escalator. God dang, that sounds awful. Just awful.
That's the stuff that, you think is an unreasonable fear. Well, that couldn't happen. Nobody's ever going to die in an escalator. You're not going to get sucked in there. Your jacket's not going to get sucked in there.
It's Final Destination stuff.
And there's probably people who have that fear turning to someone who's giving crap about it and said, I told you.
I told you.
Now what do you got to say?
I mentioned the story a couple of weeks ago. I had a roommate who had such an irrational fear of escalators that I had to give him a piggyback ride to the airport up the escalator because he would not put his feet on it. He was that terrified.
So this poor guy was at a train station or something like that in Japan. He was an older fella, 72 years old. It sounds like the back of his jacket somehow got tangled up in the escalator's handrail and it choked the guy out. I guess he came to once or twice along the way, but eventually he upped and died. What a piss poor way to check out.
Yeah.
My buddy Ricky used to have this funny t-shirt. Always got a lot of laughs when we go out. It was a cartoon drawing on his t-shirt, and it was a school bus with little happy children on the school bus. And one of the children, you could see through the windows of the school bus, he had a t-shirt on that said Jack on it. His name was Jack. And it said on the t-shirt, "Stop the bus and let my brother Jack off."
That's good.
All right, maybe you had to be there.
No, I've heard jokes like that before. It's funny.
Stop the bus and let my brother Jack off. What did we have cooking earlier this week in our Stupid News Report, Josh? We had a dude who made a pair of sandals out of his own skin, didn't we?
Yeah, he gave it to his mom as a gift.
And then he gifted them to his mommal. Now we go this way. Harvard University, where quite a few of my high school pals ended up going to college.
Oh, really?
Harvard has gone ahead. What did they do? They decided to remove a book from its library, or as Wapple and Ashley would say, library. They removed a book from their library. It's a book which has a cover made of human skin.
That's icky, but I'd kind of like to see it.
I got $5 for the first one of you who licks the book.
I like the book.
Lick the book!
You'd lick the book.
I'd lick the book.
I guess
Book
I've seen
licker.
you do some pretty gross things.
She is. I could tell by the first day we met that you're a book licker.
Yep.
You know, I picture you much more likely to lick a book than to read it.
No, I like to read, actually. I read often.
I would rather lick a book than read it, Josh.
Yeah.
They took a book right out of the library that had a cover made of human skin. I'm not sure where the skin was torn from. I mean, what I mean by that is, well, I know where it came. I don't know if it's the ass, feet, the face, breast. Could be foreskin. I don't know. Well, I guess I do know. I'll tell you. According to the folks at the New York Times, the book in question is a copy of something called On the Destiny of the Soul, written by some French person. In 20+14, Harvard ran tests that confirmed the cover was legitimately made of human skin. It's a long story. I'll cut to the chase. The skin on the book, they've found out now, the skin on the book came from a female corpse. Some lady who checked out many, many years ago. And it says here, the skin was taken off the dead lady without consent. So there are ethical concerns here, Cubby, now that they know where it came from, now that they know that the lady and her family or whoever involved did not consent to her skin being removed and used for a book. Now they're going to take it, okay, let's erase the problem. You see where they're going with that?
Yeah, I mean, I could see if it's your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandma thinking, hey, she deserved a little better than that.
Sure.
Never met her, but I bet if she was alive, she'd send you a check for $5 on your birthday.
The Harvard Library apologized for having, quote, objectified and compromised the dignity of the human being whose remains were used for the book.
Would you assume that was haunted somehow or cursed?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
It's got the spirit of whoever the skin cover is.
Yeah, you're going to get possessed.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy. Harvard feels very bad for not being more respectful to this lady. They're trying to find out more about her. They're probably going to have some kind of a ceremony. Honestly, I bet they will. Boy, that was one hell of a heart palpitation right there.
Oh, geez.
Nick, if you were going to donate your skin to a book.
Yes.
What book would it be? What do you think?
My skin would be the cover of the book.
Yeah.
Boy, I have.
And you can choose who writes it, what it's about.
Well, I'll die way before you.
No, we know it's going to be within seconds.
That's a tough question.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
When I die, and you want to write the story of our lives together.
Oh, you'd like to do that?
I give you consent to remove my foreskin and use it as the cover of the book.
Now, everyone, just make sure you keep this book warm. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to open it if it gets too cold.
Oh, God, it's going to be so difficult to open on those cold days.
That's still less gross than the Load cover from Metallica.
I hated that.
Why'd they do that?
Hated it. I don't know.
So much respect for that band, and then why would they do something? If you don't know the story, I don't even want to talk about it. It's disgusting.
It is
tough. You can look it up.
But you know what happened? They sobered up and they got all artsy-fartsy.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's so messed up.
That's what happens.
See, you know it too, Ashley?
Yeah.
It's a combination of some fluids that it doesn't need to be photographed and put on an album cover.
Weird.
I can't look at the friggin' album cover.
I can't either.
It makes me sick.
A buddy of mine told me what it was, and I was like, you're insane. There's no way any right-minded person would do something like that. The guys that wrote Master of Puppets, they're not going to do that for an album cover.
Unfortunately, when that record came out, we were both working at the radio. What was that, 96 or something like that?
So, yeah. So it was right when I started.
Yeah, that was a big story connected to the Load record, and we had to talk about that album cover over and over again. I had to fight from vomiting on the radio. I hated that. But again, they sobered up and they got all deep and artsy-fartsy.
That's what happens, right?
Right. It's a damn shame. and I just listened to that record recently because there are a couple songs on that record that I really, really like. Specifically, that long Bleeding Me.
Bleeding Me? Yeah.
Bleeding Me
That's
is
a
a
good one.
really, really good Metallica song.
Yeah, I hope you like it, because that's like an 8-minute song.
Yeah. You know, King Nothing, throw it in the garbage. Most of that album, I'm not a big, but...
Did you like Hero of the Day?
Yeah, it's got a decent bounce to it, but...
Ain't My Bitch? I got kind of tired of it. We played so much.
Yeah, I got tired. But Bleeding Me is a great stinking song. All right.
Well, Until It Sleeps.
Garbage.
I like that until the maybe 100,000th time I've heard it.
I've never liked that
Oh,
one.
never once?
Never once.
Not one time?
Nope. Yeah, you can use my skin for a book.
I appreciate that.
My family won't be offended because none of them are going to read it. You know what I'm saying? The rest of my family, well, I guess that's a flat out lie. My sister reads her ass off. You can barely get through her home because of the endless stacks of books. She is a reader. But the rest of the Bournes, they're as opposed to book learning and book reading as I am. All right, one of these deals, and we got to get out of here. This is one of the stories where it makes you wonder who the hell's in charge over there. It says here, a dangerous Venezuelan criminal recently managed to escape prison by disguising himself as a woman and simply walking out at the end of visiting hours.
Oh, that was easy.
And this is the least convincing man dressed as woman that you'll ever... There's some that'll trick you. Not this guy.
No. Looks like all that happened was a wig.
And a bad one at that.
I didn't see any pictures, but when I read the detail, that's the only picture they have?
Yeah, look at the hairline.
Yeah.
The quote-unquote hairline.
That's not a, what's the term? That's not a doctored picture?
No.
That looks, what's the word?
Photoshopped?
Yeah, that looks Photoshopped. That's not really how the guy...
That's how he looked.
Look closely to that. That's Photoshopped.
It's not Photoshopped. That's the wig. Oh, you know what? You're right. It is Photoshopped. The closer I look, yeah.
Yeah. But the details of what this dude looked like in drag, you will wonder who the hell was in charge over there at the prison, because this dude's lady costume sucked. He goes with the name Emmanuel Lorenzo Avila Alvarado, 25 years old. According to the story, he's a killer. This is not the kind of guy you want strolling out of prison. He walked out following a conjugal visit. He came strolling towards the door dressed as a lady. Despite having a dark skin tone, Alvarado managed to trick several prison guards into thinking that he was a blonde woman by putting on a wig and female clothes, most likely brought in by his girlfriend, who he just folded in half during that conjugal visit I was telling you about. Prison security cameras captured him casually walking out of the joint by mingling with a group of actual women on the way out. You see what I'm saying? Oh, hey, girls.
Yeah.
Don't you hate those periods? You know, kind of a thing.
You go, queen.
He was mingling with a group of actual women as they're walking out of the joint. I'm picturing Bugs Bunny when he used to dress as a hot blonde to throw Elmer Fudd off of his trail. You know what I mean?
That confused a young me. Because Bugs Bunny was kind of hot dressed up as a woman.
Very much. Very much. Especially the way he would move. Swinging his hips a little bit.
Yeah.
Batting his eyelashes.
You know what he was doing.
Absolutely. It's not clear how these guards could have been fooled so easily. As a matter of fact, 4 of them are being investigated for maybe being in on the bit. Because nobody should have fallen for this.
Those women totally knew. They were just going with it. Come on.
The guards, the women, yeah, they're investigating a few people to see if they were in on the gimmick. You know, but then again, these days, you know, we all know that seeing someone dressed up as a woman, seeing a man dressed up as a woman dressed up as a man, it's not a big deal anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
So maybe these women at the prison seeing a man dressed as that's a guy who likes to dress as a woman. So what, right? Maybe that was part of things are different now. It's not as shocking. Both this guy and his girlfriend are at large, they say. They remain at large. That's not good.
Yeah, I guess I'd feel pretty foolish if I was one of those, assuming, I wasn't in on the...
Jesus, I'd be embarrassed as hell.
Yeah.
But what can you do? There's so much friggin' sports going on, I'm telling you.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
And the 0-2. A swing and a drive into left field and deep. Back it goes and gone! Royce Lewis, welcome to 2024. An 0-2 opening day home run to left. The stage certainly not too big. The lights definitely not too bright. 423 feet, and the Twins are on top.
That's a great yard sale yesterday by Royce Lewis. The first dong of the year.
Awesome. Did he stick around and hit a whole bunch more?
Yep.
Expected to in the next game?
Poor bastard got hurt, but that was a great dong.
No.
Just didn't like the call.
Didn't feel right for
Terrible call. I'm kidding. Corey Provost is terrific.
I think he does a great job.
We're Dick Bramer friends around here. I'm busting balls. Corey Provost does a great job, but the call sounded funny to me. I'm sure he gets it.
Has anyone seen an update on Lewis, though? How long is he going to be out?
No, I haven't seen Jack Ola.
I checked this morning, and
he got an MRI after the game. And the media said he was optimistic, like he always is about things, because he's just such a optimistic guy about everything. Like yeah, I'll be, we'll see. I'm thinking it's just gonna be okay. It feels like I just kind of got a bruise or something, but no.
That didn't sound anything like him. I've heard him talk before.
Have you?
Yeah, that was a bad impression.
Well, I mean, he didn't do much, so I imagine he has a reason to be optimistic. It looks like, I imagine he just pulled his quad muscle.
We'll friggin' find out. But I got to blow through this here real quick.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Unbelievable what's going on these days. It's driving me nuts.
Too much.
The Twins did get a win in their season opener. They beat the Kansas City Royals by a final of 4-1. They'll play tomorrow and Sunday. We'll get into the Royce Lewis stuff. Maybe Randy Shaver knows something or another. Golden Gopher hockey advanced in the NCAA tournament. They beat Nebraska, then Omaha. They'll play again Saturday. The Pigs beat the worst team in the NHL last night at the X. They beat San Jose 2-1, 3-1 if you count disrespectful empty net goals. So they got a couple of points. That's what they got to do. We'll talk about the NCAA basketball tournament. We'll tell you who got their wins last night in the Sweet 16. So the Wolves aren't going to be sold. I don't know. We'll get to that. Wolves and Nuggets tonight, 8 o'clock on Bally Sports North. Golden Gopher ladies basketball plays in the NIT tonight against North Dakota State. Gopher dudes basketball has been effed hard again by that stupid transfer portal. We'll get into the... And I wanted to say a special thank you to Catfishing Jesus. He wrote a little letter and sent something or another in the mail. Thanks for all the laughs throughout the years. And he sent me, thank you, Catfishing Jesus, for listening. He sent me an autographed action photo of Naz Reid.
Whoa! That is super sweet.
The player who I discovered before any other Timberwolves fan had ever heard of him. Naz Reid. Now everyone loves him. Everyone claims Naz Reid. It's a great autographed action shot of Naz Reid going in for, it appears as he's ready to slam dunk the basketball. Thank you, Catfishing Jesus. And before we go, Josh, all these years later, the cover art on the Metallica album by the name of Load is still making people sick.
It is.
We talked about it rightfully so. We talked about it a few minutes ago. If you don't know what's on the cover, the Metallica record Load, look it up. But I got a great text from a listener that says, I wish I was the person I was 10 minutes ago who didn't know what was on the cover of the Metallica.
You'll never hear that album the same again.
I assumed most Metallica fans already knew. You're right.
They say, I wish I was that person from just a few minutes ago when I didn't know.
Yeah. I wish I never knew, too.
Of that godforsaken record. Josh's news is coming up. Well, heads up, 7:30, dad fights, of course, and we'll get into all the detail. Josh's news is coming up next.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
Stacking Benjamins with Joe and his good friend OG not only has great financial insight, it's laid back with humor too.
The quiet luxury trend is out and loud budgeting is in. Are we tired of the pet names?
Yeah, because I'm loud and obnoxious, so this fits right in with me. And I'm like, yes, finally budgeting for me.
I get to walk into a restaurant and go, I'm cheap as hell, and you're not getting a tip.
Live from Doug's Budget.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
Half-assed Morning Show. 93X.
Several other officers showed up as well, and it was kind of like one of those, no one really believed it.
Calling it a scene straight out of a movie, the California Highway Patrol said a 9-year-old boy took his family's car and attempted to drive himself to school, crashing into a patrol vehicle on the way.
A few seconds later, I did notice a little head bopping inside. Unusual. I exited my patrol vehicle, made an approach, and as I was approaching, I could see a kid, which turned out to be a 9-year-old child, sticking his head out saying, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to school.
I love the fact that they put out on the radio what's going on, and other cops are like, I got to see this.
Yeah.
They responded, I'm sorry, other of my partners. Again, like, I got to see this. Police first encountered the car when it was stopped in the middle of an intersection Wednesday morning. When an officer instructed the driver to move the vehicle, the car sped off, leading to a short and erratic chase, which ended in a parking lot about 2 blocks away and across the street from an elementary school. After stopping, the car reversed and rammed into the cruiser. The officer found out the driver was a 9-year-old boy who was attempting to drive himself to class.
At that point, we were kind of identify who he was, if that was the school he was actually heading to. Contacted the principal, we contacted the parent, and everyone showed up to the scene.
CHP said the situation served as a reminder to the responsibilities of drivers and the need to talk with children about the dangers of unauthorized driving. And some adults could use that reminder as well. For example, a drunk Montana man is facing felony charges after allegedly driving on the interstate in the wrong direction for nearly 30 miles.
Wow. Oh, holy balls.
And
he never killed anybody?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Was he effed up?
Yeah, he was very drunk.
Oh, okay.
Over twice the legal limit, not quite 3. It was 2:55 a.m., so luckily there wasn't a lot of traffic on the road, and the ones that were on the road were probably also drunk. He was able to avoid folks. But 30 miles, they said, 27 miles in total.
I thought maybe it was going to be an old-timer,
No, just a drunken dude.
Back to the kid, though.
56-year-old drunk guy.
Credit to him for wanting to go to school so bad he decided to up and drive himself.
Maybe it was like Italian Dunker Day or something.
Yeah. Or he's got a crush on some cute classmate. He really wanted to go see her.
God, Italian Dunker Day. That was great.
Then locally, authorities believe a man was impaired when he led troopers on a slow-speed chase in the Twin Cities yesterday. That's got to be disappointing on both ends of that. A slow-speed chase. Boring. According to the Minnesota State Patrol, troopers were dispatched to a driving complaint which started in the Lowry Hill Tunnel, northbound Interstate 94. A white Chevrolet Silverado was allegedly hitting the tunnel wall and barriers and weaving all over lane lines. Turns out it was a 56-year-old man in that one as well. A woman's facing criminal charges after she led police on a long, dramatic car chase in Carver County and pointed what turned out to be a BB gun out her window. According to the criminal complaint, a South Lake Minnetonka police officer ran a license plate on a vehicle Tuesday night in Excelsior and found the registered owner, a 33-year-old Bloomington woman, had an active warrant out of Illinois.
Just so you know, the original reason for the stop was a warrant hit. The warrant is a failure to appear, aggravated battery, out of state, history of fleeing, assault, domestic battery, and resisting arrest.
Dude, RoboCop.
I know. It did sound like that. That's always so, fascinating to me, where you'll hear these kind of dramatic situations. I mean, you're in the middle of a high-speed chase, and the cop is so calm.
Yeah.
As if nothing, like kind of almost bored sounding. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing it's because, sometimes that audio will go to court, or maybe their coworkers hear it and they don't want to get made fun of.
Right. If they know they freak out or sound nervous.
Yeah, you're going to get a reputation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a guy here. He's got a chainsaw in one hand and his penis in the other, and he's charging at me down the street. And there's a pack of wild dogs. I believe Satan is right behind him.
He just removed the upper portion of my right thigh. And, it appears he's eating it. He's force feeding it to me.
I just drove by my wife and her boyfriend are having lunch on the sidewalk.
They both have just had sex hair.
Yeah.
The officer tried to pull her over, but she kept driving, leading to a pursuit. This has to be a record for pit maneuvers, by the way, in this story, by the end of it.
Pit maneuver record?
Pit maneuver record,
all right,
yeah. After 2 pit maneuvers, the woman's vehicle spun out, and she drove down the embankment of a business's parking lot on Highway 41 in Excelsior, but she kept going. So police performed another pit maneuver. As the car was spinning, just like out of a Fast and Furious movie, she pointed what appeared to be a handgun at the officer through the window while the car was spinning. Whoa. I picture it in slow motion, like in a movie. Mm-hmm. Another officer performed another pit maneuver on her vehicle, causing her car to spin and face him. As the officer tried to get out of his vehicle to arrest her, she began driving right at him, pointing what appeared to be a gun at him, so that officer fired at her. But again, she drove away. Another officer performed yet another pit maneuver when the vehicle reached Chanhassen, causing the vehicle finally to roll over. After nearly 4.5 hours of a standoff, the woman was finally taken into custody. When arrested, officers found a knife in her pocket. A BB gun also was there. The complaint said to be an accurate replica of an M&P firearm by Smith & Wesson.
What the hell is the matter with this lady?
I don't know.
Does she not know that's a great way to die young?
Maybe that's exactly what she was looking for. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's not good.
I don't know. A Florida man was arrested after he allegedly called 911 several times Tuesday and threatened to behead employees of Charlotte County Sheriff's Office and execute Sheriff Bill Promell.
This guy watches a little too much Game of Thrones or what?
He's got a bit of an attitude, this guy.
Very dramatic.
When 52-year-old Michael Manussi made his first 911 call around 6:24 p.m., he threatened the operator, saying, and I apologize for the language here, "I'm going to light you on fire because I'm a cop, bitch, and I'm going to kill you if you come near me."
What the hell?
2 minutes later, Manussi called again, this time threatening multiple sheriff's office supervisors by name, saying, "I want them beheaded. You're all dead if you come near me. And this is not a threat, it's a fact." Manussi's third and fourth calls targeted Sheriff Promell. "I'm going to commit arson on Sheriff Bill Promell," Manussi threatened during the call. By the fifth call, he continued to be hostile and refused to listen to the operator. "Are you afraid to shoot me, arrest me, or execute me?" he confusingly said. According to the report, his number was in the system from prior incidents, and dispatch helped deputies locate him at an intersection. After initially denying making any calls, he later admitted to calling 911, saying he only called to inquire about some legal advice. Apparently, he didn't remember the rest of it.
Not all there.
No.
I don't think he's all there.
2 teenage boys are facing robbery charges after a victim was assaulted when meeting to buy a gaming console in Moorhead. 12:34 p.m. Tuesday, the victim said he was meeting to buy the console when the 2 boys grabbed his money, pushed him, and ran off when they met in an apartment entryway. Officers were initially unable to find the suspects, but the following day, investigators posed as a buyer online and made arrangements to buy the video game console. They met with the first suspect and took them into custody, with the second handing themselves in a short time later.
These were like 14, 15-year-old kids?
I don't have the ages in front of them, but they just called them teenagers. The Moorhead Police Department reminds the community several places, such as the Clay County Law Enforcement Center, have designated areas for meeting parties when purchasing or selling products to unknown people, Moorhead PD said. I know plenty of cities do that. They'll allow you to go to the police station. Other tips include don't go alone, use secure payment methods versus exchanging cash. However, they do say the use of gift cards is often a scam. Don't share personal information that isn't necessary. Do your research and check the person's profile. Learn karate. And lastly, if something doesn't feel right, avoid those transactions.
I hear you.
Yeah.
A lawsuit claims 3 Scottsdale area strip clubs used an elaborate scheme to charge customers credit cards for excessively high amounts without authorization by drugging them.
Drugging people?
Yeah, I guess, allegedly.
Jesus Christ.
Left incapacitated, waking up lost and confused about finding several credit card transactions worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's how plaintiffs describe what happened to them at 3 Arizona clubs.
I remember kind of walking through what I thought was like a cloud of like either perfume or makeup or something. And that's when I ended up actually in a VIP room and started to get these symptoms that felt not alcohol related. I felt like I kind of didn't have control of the situation. That was really the first instance that I knew.
In September 2021, a financial crimes detective said he started seeing multiple cases reported by alleged victims who didn't know each other, detailing common factors like VIP rooms, having memory loss, signing and thumbprinting paperwork, having photos taken of them, and extremely high credit card charges.
Didn't think that these were actually legitimate transactions at that point. It just seemed unconscionable that this would even happen.
They all tell the same story, yet none of them have met, said Rod Galarza, the attorney representing nearly 20 plaintiffs in the lawsuit. The total amount of money charged between them easily cleared $1 million.
Isn't that something? That sounds like... I think I saw a movie with a scam similar to that. The dude said he walked through some kind of fog?
Yeah, that's what he claimed, yeah.
So is it possible that someone is spraying something into the air that would knock the guy out? That sounds like something Dr. Evil would come up with.
It sounds like that's what he's saying.
What
exactly.
the hell?
And legislation in Washington state known as the Strippers' Bill of Rights, which includes the most comprehensive statewide protections in the nation, was signed into law Monday. Strippers are workers, and they should be given the same rights and protections as any other labor force, read a news release. The new law requires training for employees in establishments to prevent sexual harassment, identify and report human trafficking, de-escalate conflict, and provide first aid. It also mandates security workers on site, keypad codes on dressing rooms, and panic buttons in places where entertainers may be alone with customers. Strippers Are Workers, a dancer-led organization in the state since 2018, advocated for the regulation. That's the Strippers' Bill of Rights, now passed in Washington state.
Get her done.
Yep.
Some notable new music selections from our weekly post on 93x.com each Friday. First, Stained vocalist Aaron Lewis, who had a #1 country single with 2021's Am I the Only One, offers up his 5th solo country album, Today the Hill. Stained, of course, headlining the 93X Twin City Takeover at the X May 4th with I Prevail, Asking Alexandria, and Days Seeker. Heaven and Hell is the 8th album and final studio album from Sum 41. The double album features 20 songs over 2 discs. Landmines recently became their first #1 single in 20 years.
You're kidding me. You can't call your record Heaven and Hell.
Yeah, they went for it, I guess. There's a Heaven album and a Hell album. It's a double disc there.
You can't do that.
Sum 40, they've already done it. It's too late.
It's already been printed.
There will be repercussions for such a thing.
On this earth or the afterlife. Sum 41 will be at the Armory next month on the 23rd. And one more music note.
Tony Iommi's still alive, and they call their record Heaven and Hell. No one else. I'm making some phone calls on this.
Note, I said.
Yeah, I got that.
Text the word or the number 30, however you want to do it. You can text, you could spell it out, you could just do 30 to the Luther Bloomington Kia text line at 651-989-9393 for corn tickets, October 27th at XL Energy Center. Tickets are on sale today at 10 a.m., but why not win them now at no cost to you? Furnished by Live Nation.
Ronnie James Dio gives his life. The man is dead. He gives his life for hard rock and heavy metal, and a punk rock band ups and calls their record Heaven and Hell, and we're supposed to sit here and act like nothing's happening?
93X presents Sum 41 next month at the Armory. Halloween is coming early this year as AMC Theaters is launching the Halfway to Halloween Film Festival this weekend. Anchored by an anniversary screening of Insidious, the festival kicks off with M. Night Shyamalan's Split today. The Purge will return to screens tomorrow. Other film showcase will include Ouija, Origin of Evil, and The Invisible Man. Festival attendees will have the chance to win giveaways, get sneak peeks at upcoming titles. The Halfway to Halloween Film Festival kicks off today and goes through Tuesday. Tickets are $8.
Dude, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I thought of you right away.
Heck yeah, I didn't know we were halfway to Halloween.
That's what they're claiming.
That sounds great, but not as great as I'm looking forward to that next Sum 41 record called Mob Rules. I'm looking forward to that. Aren't you, Josh?
I'll listen to anything Sum 41 puts out as they're coming to town. You know, thanks 93. They're coming to town next. Now in theaters, Godzilla Kong, the New Empire. 2 ancient titans, Godzilla and Kong, clash in an epic battle as humans unravel their intertwined origins and connection to Skull Island's mysteries. Also in theaters...
I'm going to wait 25 years. I'm going to release a movie called Godzilla and Kong. 40 years. I'm going to wait 40 years. Then I'm going to come out with a movie called Godzilla and Kong.
Is there going to be any related to this whatsoever? Will the format be similar, or is it going to be a lot different?
I don't know. We'll come up with something.
Will your employer be associated with it in some way? This new Godzilla Kong movie are coming out, The New Empire? Anybody watching those movies? You enjoy them? Do you like those?
I haven't seen them.
I haven't seen them.
I'm waiting for Nick's version.
Thank you.
Also in theaters, In the Land of Saints and Sinners, starring Liam Neeson. In a remote Irish village, a damaged father is forced to fight for redemption after a lifetime of sins. But in the land of saints and sinners, some sins can't be buried. Now streaming on Apple TV Plus, Steve Martin, a documentary in 2 pieces. A chronicle of Steve Martin's early struggles and meteoric rise as he revolutionized stand-up comedy. Lisa Frankenstein makes its Peacock streaming premiere today, then simply because the title of the movie is strange enough to ignore, or not to ignore. Wait a minute, I don't know how you say that. I can't ignore it. It's going to be making a splash tonight on FX and Hulu. Sperm World, a movie examining the new wild west of baby making and how our fantasies about partnership and parenthood shape our deepest desires.
What's the movie called?
There's really a movie called Sperm World, and it is not a pornography.
F me.
You can watch that on FX and Hulu. Ewan McGregor will turn 53 Sunday. AC/DC's Angus Young will be 69.
When is Angus Young's birthday?
On Sunday.
You want to come over?
You want to have a party?
I would love to. I mean, come on. Angus effing Young. There'll never be anyone quite like him ever again.
Also Sunday, Christopher Walken, 81.
Wow.
Tomorrow, MC Hammer turns 62. And Xena Warrior Princess Lucy Lawless, 56 today.
Oh, man.
Sending some good vibes to High Hopes McGee, Jesus, and the family. Unfortunately, their beloved dog / family member, Grizzly, has to be put down today. Very sorry to hear that.
Sorry.
Happy birthday on Sunday to local 34 pipe insulator, the third, Jesus, from your amazing wife, White Claw Dry Cleaning, Jesus.
Hey, Josh.
Yes, sir.
Medical Device Jesus has a decent idea. When you come over to my place Sunday to celebrate Angus Young's birthday, we'll listen to that new Blink-182 record. It's called Power Slave.
And happy 40th to Lifeguard Jesus tomorrow from Mark and the kids, and that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
Big time onions. Goodness.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Nelson to put him up 3, and he missed it. And it's Nelson got the block. Game over. Alabama. The Sweet 16 is no longer sour. They advance to the Elite 8 for the first time in 20 years. And it's into Goody. The game is over. And Illinois is going to a regional final for the first time in 19 years. It'll be Illinois and defending national champion UConn.
Hey, Kevin Harlan there on the broadcast of one of last night's ball games. It's our Friday, and by damn, we're having a hell of a time. Here to ruin that are our guests, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Boys.
Good morning.
What the hell's going on with you two?
I'm not here to ruin anything.
I know it, Randy. By God, I do.
I'm here to ruin it.
Yeah, I'm just teasing you a little bit.
Sure.
That's all. Kevin Harlan on the call last night of one of those ball games. There's so much going on. So much going on. Let's see if we can cover every damn thing that happened yesterday, because it was a lot, skis. Twins won the opener.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Twins won the opener by a final of 4-1. Yes, Pablo Lopez and the Twins bullpen was excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. But a couple of guys left the game early with injuries.
Yeah, we'll have to find out Royce Lewis's situation later today, hopefully. It's an off day for the Twins. They don't play again until tomorrow. I think he was going to have an MRI done. It sounds like it was like a leg injury, a quad injury.
I think he had the MRI done during the game, and they're waiting for the results.
Yep. Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
He just kind of missed second base running. It just kind of awkwardly missed it.
Happens all the time.
Or got the corner of it.
You kind of overstep it or understep it. You catch it just right.
Just one of those freak kind of things, and hopefully it's not going to be anything serious, because that would be awful to start the season with this guy on the DL after hitting a home run in his first at bat.
Yeah, that
getting
sucks.
Things off and running. So
he got the first dong out for the season, and then he had to leave early. The Strudel also took a walk at one point or another back to the clubhouse and didn't come back.
Yeah,
I didn't see so much what happened with the Strudes.
I think that was just a foul ball.
I thought it was a foul ball off his shin or something.
Did he foul one off the old privates?
You know, I mean, hopefully this is just a blip and it's not going to be a big deal.
That would suck if we get some really bad news on those boys.
Yeah. Well, they had enough injury issues during spring training the way it was. I mean, good grief.
Yeah, I mean, with their almost really half their bullpen is on the DL right now.
Yeah.
So,
but Pablo and the boys, they were sharp.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need your stopper to do.
He looks every who the stopper? Who's the stopper?
Lopez. The guy in your rotation who's going to every time when he goes out there, he's going to throw 7 innings.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be dominant. He's going to take pressure off the bullpen. Yeah, he was just really solid.
He was every bit the character that we came familiar with last year.
And Nick, it's one of those things where if this was June, he probably would have finished the game. He threw 84 pitches in 7 innings. He likely would have been given a longer leash in the summertime to probably, at least get into the 8th inning in that ball game. But Stewart and Jax did a great job to close it out.
Like you said, they'll go tomorrow and Sunday in Kansas City. You know who else has piss poor luck when it comes to injuries? The Washington Nationals. They couldn't even get to the first pitch of opening day without someone falling down. Their third baseman, Nick Senzel, had one of his thumbs broken for him while taking ground balls before the game.
Yeah, that's just awful.
He signed with the Nationals over the winter. He was expected to be their everyday third baseman. Takes a ground ball off his thumb just warming up. He's gone.
Yeah.
Golden Gopher hockey advanced in the NCAA tournament by beating Nebraska, then Omaha. They got her done by a score of 3-2. Now, I didn't know this until game time. I turn on my television at 7:30 and I realize I don't have ESPN Part U.
Okay.
That was kind of a kick in the nuts.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't know I didn't have ESPN U. So I listened to the radio broadcast starring Randy Shaver's, a lot of folks don't know this, Randy Shaver's younger brother, Wally. And Pat F. Me running Micheletti on the call.
Yeah, Pat Micheletti. Yeah.
Those two were great together. I knew they were working together, but I rarely listened to radio.
Right.
I rarely listened to sports radio. They were great together, and it made it enjoyable.
Yeah, I caught the ass end, so the third period of that game in the car and on the radio. God, that was so much fun.
Pat Micheletti, for you younger people,
he will let you know what's happening in that game.
For you younger people, Pat Micheletti was a straight-up pimp in the mid-'80s for Golden Gopher. He scored a lot of big goals when he was a Golden Gopher.
He was the star.
Pat Micheletti was like, what, we're down one? Ha-ha! Not anymore. We're tied. You know what I mean? When he was a player, he was a friggin' pimp. Yeah. And Wapple, you're exactly right. I had never heard Pat Micheletti and Wally Shaver together, and here's what you're referencing, right? You know what's It's a lot like Glenn Sonmore was.
No.
Right. As Wally Shaver is calling the game, here comes Jackson Nelson up the right wing board, and you'll hear Micheletti go, because he lost control of the puck, and then it'll be, the puck, a save by Close, and Micheletti will go, oh.
I loved it, because you would hear him, and then you're kind of waiting for what happened.
Right.
I'm glad he's doing better. He had some health issues a couple years ago, but I think he's doing a lot better now. Which
That's
is
what
great.
I heard. And when good things happen, too, Micheletti will go, there you go.
Yep. Yeah.
Glenn Sonmore was the exact, you could hear Glenn Sonmore, when you'd listen to the radio broadcast with Wally and Glenn Sonmore back in the days, you could hear Sonmore kind of off mic go, oh, come on!
I honestly think I'm just going to listen to the Gophers broadcast. Just turn on like my grandpa used to do.
Oh, sure.
Put the TV on mute and just have the radio going. God,
so
that was fun.
It was a close game. Golden Gophers got a couple of goals.
Late.
Got a couple of goals out of Jackson Nelson, including the winner with about 4 minutes left. Did you see the game winner?
Yeah,
I did not.
No.
I was able to, get on the internet this morning and see the since I only listened to it on the radio. The deflection.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous goal by Jackson Nelson to win that sumbitch. He is a really skilled kid.
And now a turnover. Minnesota scored off a turnover earlier. They do again here. Tipped in front again. Gophers are up. It's Nelson once more. Wow.
I don't know his situation, meaning was he a high draft pick? I don't know. He is such great hands and such a big kid. I would think he's built for the next level. That's just my opinion. I don't know anything about what the NHL thinks of him. I'm just going off what I've seen from the kid on the ice. Next up now, Saturday night, they'll play Boston University. Bunch of guys from Boston and a bunch of guys from Minnesota. Yeah, this is going to work. What movie? Miracle. It sounds like that Boston club isn't one to mess with. From what I've heard, the Gophers are going to have to play about their best game of the year if they want to play in that Frozen Four here in town. That's what I've heard.
Isn't Jackson Nelson from Laverne, Minnesota, too?
Down that away, yeah. One of those towns down there, yeah.
Don't really hear that for a hockey hub.
No,
well, it's like you get to the Final Eight in anything, basketball, hockey, everybody's going to be good. So, yeah.
Everybody's going to be good this time of year, says Brad Ryder. What did I have here? The other scores from the NCAA hockey tournament on the Golden Gophers side of the bracket, because the other clubs haven't played yet. Denver beat UMass, Cornell over Maine, and then Boston was the club we were just talking about. They beat RIT.
They did not put much of a fight. Oh,
who?
RIT. That was brutal.
They just they didn't belong there, did they, Wapple?
Or it's just Boston's that good.
They didn't belong. What do I have here in front of me now? The Pigs. They beat the worst team in hockey. 2-1, 3-1 if you count empty net goals. They got their 2 points, but they didn't get any help, did they?
Nope.
What, Vegas? Pardon me, where am I going with this? Vegas beat Winnipeg and St. Louis beat Calgary.
Yep.
That doesn't help their cause.
Does not help. But, I mean, it's better than losing that game to San Jose. So
Sure.
They need to pretty much win every game.
They do, and they need some help in front of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
What are we doing now? What do they do? They got the 2 point. I'm sorry. Their next big showdown is with Las Vegas tomorrow afternoon in St. Paul. Yes, go ahead, Randy.
I was going to say before we head to dad fights here, because I know we're getting
we got plenty of time.
Oh, okay, good. I just wanted to add another baseball note whenever you get a chance.
Go ahead.
There was the late game last night where Arizona played Colorado in the season opener. Arizona sent 18 batters to the plate in the third inning last night. They had 13 hits. They scored 14 runs in just the third inning against the Rockies, and they did all of that without hitting a home run. Can you imagine? They were out there for 34 minutes in the third inning.
Sucks.
And Colorado just got pummeled in the third inning last night. I was watching some of the highlights of that third inning, and the Rockies looked like they had just been somebody had taken them in the backyard and just beat them with a stick. They just looked like they were so demoralized.
Totally cooked.
Yeah.
Just the outfielders don't even have their gloves on.
No, they just like, God, I mean, can you imagine standing out there for 35 minutes as you watch your pitchers just get pummeled?
Only 161 more to go, boys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good Lord.
Guys are calling their agents wanting to get traded.
And they do it, and they score all those runs without a home run. It just was never ending. Never ending.
That's a nightmare, especially game one skis, huh? All right. Your winners from last night's NCAA basketball tournament. Connecticut, Alabama, Clemson, and not Iowa State.
No. Dang it.
Illinois.
Dang it.
Connecticut looks like they're going to just absolutely tap dance.
I was just
everybody.
about to say the same.
I mean, come on. They look so far and above everybody else.
They look like they're on a different level compared to everybody else.
And it also looks like they're getting some help, too, right? I mean, Arizona gets knocked off. UNC gets knocked off. I mean, there's some teams that are heading into possible Final Four territory that maybe some people didn't feel like they would get that far. So that helps their cause quite a bit too. But they're really good. I mean, San Diego State was in the Final Four last year.
Well, it was a rematch of last year.
Yeah, they pummeled them. I mean, they just clobbered them.
Yeah, and I think we said the same thing about UConn last year. At about this point in the tournament last year, I remember us saying, this is not going to be a contest. UConn is just that effing good. Yeah. Clemson is in the Elite Eight for the first time since 1980. They beat, who was it?
Arizona.
Yep.
And what is the... I had this Connecticut
Such a
stat.
bummer that Iowa State got beat.
It's not that big of a deal.
It is. It is when you got to go into the Final Four in your bracket.
Bracket, smack it. The University of Connecticut men's basketball team has won 16 consecutive neutral site games, with all 16 wins coming by double-digit margins.
That's impressive.
Wow,
They're curb stomping everybody. Everybody. Tonight, let me tell you who's playing tonight. By God, I'm gonna go ahead. Houston and Duke. Oh, well, we're all rooting for Duke, right?
Totally.
NC State and Marquette, Purdue, Gonzaga, Creighton, Tennessee is how it goes
Purdue
tonight.
Gonzaga could be a really good game.
That could be an all-timer.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it just keeps going now with everything happening all at once. So what's the deal? Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez are not going to buy the Timberwolves after all. What's going on? There's all kinds of stories going round town.
Go ahead, Brad.
All right. Well, my take, I have no reason to personally defend Glenn Taylor, but they didn't, in my estimation, they didn't have the money. They never had the money. They said they did. They had 3 years to come up with it, missed multiple payments. Glenn pushed him back, but at the end of the day, if you keep missing payment deadlines, he's got every right in the world to say the deal's off. That's my take. I mean, I know it's not the popular opinion because everybody wants to pile on Glenn, and I mean, yeah, he's made some very questionable decisions over the years, but he didn't get rich by cutting people a break. I mean, it's a business deal, and if they don't hold up their end of the bargain, he's got every right to say the deal's off. So...
All right, but then Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez, they say that they have the money, but Glenn...
Well, if they had the money, then they should have made the payment.
Exactly.
I mean,
on time.
come on.
There's 3 or 4 times they've had to push deadlines back throughout this process, and I said a month ago, this smells like it's not going to happen.
All right, I didn't know yet you guys were so passionate about this.
I'm not defending him as a person. I'm defending him as a businessman here.
I think there's a lot of people in town who would like to see different ownership for the Timberwolves. And no offense to Glenn, I think Glenn's done a decent job with everything. I think there's just people that feel like there needs to be the next generation of ownership for the Wolves. I don't think these are the right people.
No, I don't disagree with that take, but since when did Alex Rodriguez become this, saint? I mean, there was a reason why his nickname was A-Fraud when he was in the league. I mean...
who's treating Alex Rodriguez like a saint?
Well, everybody here in town thinks that this is the greatest thing ever, that he's going to buy the Timberwolves. And, I mean, if you got the money, you got 3 years to pay the payments, and you haven't done it.
Right.
So.
Well, A-Rod they didn't have the money between the two of them.
No.
They had investors lined up to join them in buying the majority ownership of the Timberwolves, and for whatever reason, they didn't have enough backing from the people that were with them in order to make the payments on time, under the contract agreement that they had with Glenn. And that's
there are two stories I would really encourage people to read about this if they haven't. Patrick Royce's story he posted yesterday. Very good story. He talked to Glenn about a month ago behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Another story, which I think a lot of people probably haven't read yet, something that was posted last night in the New York Post about how the deal and the relationship between Lori and A-Rod kind of fell apart the last 9 or 10 months. So take a look at that, too.
Fair enough. I've grown to like Alex Rodriguez. A-Fraud, they called him, huh?
Yeah.
I've grown to like the guy.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't give a rat's ass who owns the team as long as they don't leave town.
Well, I think that's one of Glenn's concerns, too. I mean, again, say whatever you want about Glenn. he does not want to see this team leave either.
Good.
And that's why I would say read Patrick Royce's story, because there is some information in there about how there was another buyer who stepped up right around the same time that these guys did 3 years ago, who offered $2.5 billion in cash. And I know that this is legit because I know one of the people, not personally really well, but one of the people in this group. They offered $2.5 billion in cash, but they wanted to move the team. And Glenn said no.
All right. Well, I guess we'll keep following this and see what happens. But again, I don't care as long as they don't go anywhere. Oh, this just in. Tony Khan has bought the Timberwolves.
That's exciting.
Yeah. We're going to get a lot of AEW stars.
John Moxley is going to start at point guard tonight against the Denver.
Fozzie singing the national anthem.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome.
8 o'clock tonight on Bally Sports North. The Timberwolves have a huge game against the Nuggets.
Yes. Monster game.
Sunday, they play home against Chicago. Golden Gopher ladies basketball plays North Dakota State tonight in the ladies NIT. The Gopher dudes basketball club has been effed hard again by that transfer portal.
Yes, it has.
Hey, Josh, do you know how to find a text message from a listener?
If you give me the name, yeah.
Yes, Bank Examining Jesus sent me a text earlier on all this NIL stuff. And I wanted to get Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder's takes on what Bank Examining Jesus said.
Is it about Mankato?
No, it's a long thing about the NIL deal. I thought it was maybe
March Madness Jesus text in about that.
Oh, okay, March Madness. I'm sorry, I got the wrong guy. Okay. March Madness Jesus. He goes on and on about the NIL. Is that him? You got it in front of you?
I'm pulling it up right now.
All right, because I don't follow this stuff. I don't understand NIL. I don't understand the transfer portal. All I know is I'm not a fan of the transfer portal because of things like what we got yesterday. Pharrell Payne, who I really loved watching play for Golden Gopher basketball, he doesn't want to be here anymore.
These are all local kids, by the way.
Right. Ola Joseph. Joshua Ola Joseph doesn't want to be here anymore. Isaiah Enan and Carrington. What's his first name?
Some of it is play time.
Right.
Driven, playing time driven.
Yes,
Pharrell Payne is not.
No,
that's got to be NIL driven.
Right. Let me just read this to you and get your take on it, because we got to get going again.
Sure.
Josh, can you point that?
Yeah, I'm printing it.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, hold on a second. Here we go.
Because I don't follow it. Oh my God,
Josh!
Not another one.
I was trying to get it to him too fast.
Yeah.
No, it didn't work. You got to print me out another one. Print me out another one.
It takes a second.
Son of a bitch bastard.
Oberg, bring in another printer.
All right, it says here. What's this guy's name again? March Madness.
March Madness.
He
Jesus.
texts a lot. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you excited. Bank Examining Jesus.
His day's ruined.
Okay, he says here now, you can mention this on air or not, but here's my take with Payne leaving. And March Madness Jesus, he texts a lot about basketball. He seems to know his stuff. Everyone else who hit the portal was replaceable, he says. Okay. Payne is 100% leaving for NIL money. The kid is becoming a great player and deserves to be paid. Everyone else in this state loves to complain about NIL. Every week, I'm buying a case of Duck beer that supports the Dinkytown athletes. I'm getting 7th Avenue pizzas and everything else that I see that supports it. I didn't know that was part of the deal. But anyway, just hang on. All these a-holes in this state complain about the NIL. Barely any of them do anything to support ours. It's always such a damn woe is us. We are a small market story. There's nothing we can do, and everyone refuses to do anything about it. Anyone that complains about NIL and doesn't help or contribute are the people at fault. I had no idea this is how it works. What do I do to support NIL?
Well, it's one way to support it.
That's what. Well, what else? Tell me. This is brand new to me.
Some of these businesses who give money to the Dinkytown athletes, like basically sponsors, what he's saying is you should support them by buying their product.
Oh, I hadn't. Right. Did you guys know that's how it works?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's not always how it works.
It's one way. I understand. Yes, it's one way to help. I had no. Hey, March Madness Jesus.
You can walk into the U and sign them a check. That's the other way it works.
I did not know that.
I'd rather buy frozen pizzas. That's more of my budget.
Yeah.
I thought it was a situation where, T-Mobile, I don't know, Coca-Cola. I thought it was all.
Yeah, it is.
They can do that too.
And then you can buy Coke.
Yeah, but I thought that's all it was. I had no idea. I had no idea that the average citizen could help.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
There
I mean,
you go.
again, that's one way. I mean, every school is going to do it differently. A lot of schools are going to have deep pockets with donors who want to have a piece, or be able to say they've got a piece of each team or a player or whatever. So, all
right.
That seems to be where the bigger money is.
Yeah, or players will represent companies like Caitlin Clark does, and that's how they get paid their NIL money. So
there you go. That was an interesting write-up there, dude. Thanks for the text.
This is why Nick Saban retired from college football. This is exactly why. Because you cannot keep everybody happy. It's a Wild West. You're constantly.
I don't like it.
You're constantly having to deal with this, and it's exhausting. And he just said, "Screw it, I'm done. I can't. This is not for me anymore."
It's almost like the turnover in major college athletics, especially in basketball, is worse than following a pro team now. I mean, your roster overturns so much every year.
It's free agency.
It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that. But I'll tell you what, now that I know that I could help, I'll look into it. I really will. That's really interesting to me. All right, we got to get going. Did anyone else see what I just did? You weren't.
No, I didn't notice.
It's kind of hard. It's radio. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Well, not you idiots. I'm talking to the people that I work with. Sometimes you forget where you are. I just openly scratched my right ass cheek.
Oh yeah. No way.
Yeah.
I did not notice.
And I thought to myself, wait a minute, dude, you're not at home.
Over the pants or under the pants?
He took the pants all the way off.
Oh my gosh!
I reached down into my pants and underwears and openly. With all five fingernails, I openly scratched my ass.
All right,
cheek.
Grandpa. Thanks.
Josh, give him a high five. You're in the same room with them.
Yeah.
93X country. Go ahead, Wapple.
Let's ride.
Oh, sorry. You caught me singing now.
You're not at home.
You caught me singing into the microphone. Welcome to the 164th edition of our Friday Trivia Money Shot called Dad Fights. The opponents, Randy Shaver and Brad Reitner. You got an email, Brad.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if you heard that or not. That wasn't very loud. Hang on, let me turn down my computer. I got to turn this down here.
Oh, it's from Glenn Taylor.
Well, he might be the only person that liked my take. I'm sure I'm getting barbecued on the text messages.
Only one or two.
He says, Glenn Taylor says, thanks for backing me up, son. You're rehired, he says.
Checks in the mail.
Despite the weather we've had this week, F me if we weren't feeling a summertime vibe sitting around the radio station the other day. The NCAA basketball tournament always is a sign that winter is on its way out. The Twins started their season yesterday. We're getting there, by God, we are. Road trips are a summertime thing for some folks. Randy Shaver and his wife have been taking a liking to road trips the last few years, right, Randy Shaver?
Absolutely.
You go over here, you call us from the road, and you're looking at this and
and one of these days, I'm just going to leave her there.
She's clearly sleeping right now.
Randy?
Clearly.
Will you
Listen
promise
to
me?
Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Will you
Big Daddy
promise me
doesn't
something?
say those things unless she's sleeping.
If you ever do ditch your wife on a road trip, can I be the first one you call and tell me about it?
Why is that?
Just because I'd be so excited. That'd be such a great story.
Living vicariously through me?
Well, no. I mean, no, it's more about just I'd like to be the first to know if you ditch your wife in.
Oof. Boy, when she shows up disheveled, I would be terrified. A week later, she walks back, and a lot of time to get pissed.
Nick, it's Randy. Yeah, what's up? Just ditched the wife in West Virginia.
Yep.
A buddy of mine, older guy.
She's somewhere on the Blue Ridge Trail.
Yep. A buddy of mine, a much older guy. One of my favorite stories about this guy, him and his brother don't get along. And once they went on a duck hunting trip or something to North Dakota, and they rode in one vehicle. My buddy did the driving. They got in such a hellacious, how do you say that, Josh? Hellacious?
Yeah, hellacious.
They got in such a hellacious argument on night number 1 of this duck hunting trip that my buddy left his brother in North Dakota.
Oh my God.
Just got in the car, drove back to the cities.
Oh my God.
I effing love that. His brother's wife had to go get him.
Oh my God.
Road trips. What we've done here for you as far as a topic for today's Dad Fight Trivia Showdown, we've piled up some interesting facts about American states. Spots that maybe you might visit on a road trip. The more facts we dump on you, the closer you boys will get to naming the state we're looking for. You know, little oddities, facts about these different states. Like, say, for Minnesota, we'd say something about, I don't know, Spam, the lakes, effing Prince. I don't know. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
The effing lakes.
Turkeys, whatever.
I like Randy's chances today because he's driven around the country a lot.
Yeah, but you've been places, Brad Ryder.
I've seen airports, arenas, and that's about it.
And you just fired up your computer, obviously, to Google, so you're going
You've been places.
Yeah,
when you're not swinging from Glenn Taylor's jock, you go places now and again.
Usually in Glenn Taylor's private jet.
Right, yeah, that's true.
And you never know, okay? Maybe this will inspire you fellas, separately or together, or somebody else, to head in the direction of these states this summer. I think this one's going to be cool. So, of course, you want to try to be the first one to shout out the correct answer. Shout it out loud. If you're correct, you'll hear the bell. That means you get a point. If you're incorrect today, Wapple has selected something from the movie Dumb and Dumber.
You are one pathetic loser.
That's what you're going to hear.
Brilliant.
If you're incorrect, if your opponent is incorrect, you can steal that point. 10 challenges plus a tiebreaker if necessary. Podcasting Jesus stars in today's game introduction.
This is Podcasting Jesus, hailing from Owatonna, father of 2 and husband of 1. I would like all of the radio listeners to hear some of my favorite songs, like this one.
This portion of the podcast has been removed due to music licensing reasons.
Hear that riff?
This portion of the podcast has also been removed due to music licensing reasons.
And what about those vocals? Man, what a great tune. Anyway, this is Dad Fights 164 with Randy and, well, whatever. Who cares?
That's about right. Podcast listeners know what he's talking about.
That's perfect.
That was funny.
Thank you very much, Podcasting Jesus. If you want to be live on the radio, well, not live, if you want to be part of a Dad Fights intro, send us an email. 93X, no, I do that wrong 2-3 times out of 10. hams93x at gmail.com. That's how you email us, and we'll get you lined up for an intro. So, Dad Fights, part 100 plus 64. State trivia, sort of. We'll give you these interesting facts about a state in our once proud union, and you name the state. Brad versus Randy is the setup again.
The sunniest state in the U.S. is also the first to have a McDonald's with a drive-thru.
California.
You are one pathetic loser.
All you, Brad. I know Glenn Taylor's cheering for you right now after your earlier praise.
The first to have a McDonald's with a drive-thru.
With a drive-thru.
All right.
It's the birthplace of former WWF World Champion superstar Billy Graham, as well as former Vikings Randall McDaniel and Everson Griffin. The southwestern state is also famous for its deserts with sand and a canyon that's grand.
Arizona.
Arizona is the correct answer. The McDonald's drive-thru in Sierra Vista, Arizona was created in 1975, so soldiers from a nearby Army installation could get food without exiting their vehicles, as they weren't permitted to walk around in uniform while off base. That's why they added that drive-thru.
Well,
Interesting.
Benefit of my life for sure. Thank you, soldiers.
Quite a bit.
It's the craziest thing I've heard in a long, long time. 1-0 Brad Ryder. They produce more apples than anybody else.
Washington.
What the hell?
Wow. Good one.
That is crazy.
Are you Johnny Appleseed?
Yes.
Brad Ryder is correct.
It's an agricultural product,
Yeah, farmer's going to know.
Okay. Didn't even think of that.
I was even aware of that.
No effing way. Didn't even think that your agricultural background would give you a 2-0 lead so quickly here in Dad Fights Part 100 plus 64. Yeah, they produce more apples than anybody else. The very first Starbucks coffee shop popped up there in 1971. A volcano eruption knocked everyone on their asses back in 1980. And there are more than 300 colleges in their state and one completely unnecessary NHL franchise. That's right, the state of Washington. Wow, that was great work, Brad Ryder. 2-0 Brad.
All right. In March of 1914, Babe Ruth crushed his first professional homer in this southeastern state, where both mini golf and Pepsi were invented.
Georgia.
You are one pathetic loser.
Oh, I know your thought process there. Along with possessing 4 professional sports franchises, the state also owns the distinction of a college basketball program that won 6 NCAA championships, including a title in 1982 with a student athlete nicknamed MJ.
North Carolina.
North Carolina is the correct answer. North Carolina may have invented mini golf, but Myrtle Beach, South Carolina has been dubbed the mini golf capital of the world. The town of 37,000 has over 50 mini golf courses.
Holy cow. That's way too much.
It's intense. Intense. I've been there.
They have how many mini golf courses?
50.
What the hell for? Oh, wait a minute. No, wait. Mini golf is fun. Yeah. I was thinking. Randy Shaver, you said Georgia, and Josh, you said you understand the process. What did you mean by that?
I don't want to say, just in case the state comes up later.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, and suddenly it's 3-0 Brad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, we're throwing these odd, interesting facts.
Randy's going to win today. I don't know anything.
Well, it's not over yet.
Randy's jumping in quick. That's the problem here.
Odd, interesting facts from different states here in America, and the boys are trying to guess the state. 3-0 Brad. Okay. If you pay a visit to this here state, you could go down one of their many water slides. They got a lot of those. You could check out the Harley-Davidson Museum. In their biggest city, you could take a picture with a statue of Henry Winkler. Or you might want to visit a town that claims to be the bratwurst capital
Wisconsin.
The bratwurst capital of the world. You're right again, Brad Ryder. Wisconsin, as my dad used to say it. Wisconsin. Sheboygan is the town that claims to be the
Sheboygan. She be gone.
She be gone. That's where you should leave Roseanne.
She be gone.
They claim to be the brat capital. The water slides reference was to Wisconsin Dells.
You know that reference, right?
Hit me with
She
it.
be gone? That's what Russell Shamoka called Wisconsin, that city in Wisconsin. On the air on Channel 11.
There's a name from the past.
It wasn't a joke? He did
No.
it? Oh, no.
He was a sportscaster in town for 4 months before they moved me into that job. He called it She be gone.
Young people are lost, but yes, I remember watching Russell Shamoka on your television show. That's
correct.
On your television news. Didn't he have this gimmick? Didn't he say, "It happened tonight"?
He did, and
That was his gimmick.
he stole the gimmick from the famous sportscaster in San Francisco.
Gimmick infringement. I work in radio.
Yes.
I'm very familiar.
Totally was.
Very familiar. Also in Wisconsin, over there, Cruisin' Chubby's Gentlemen's Club.
It's a favorite strip club name ever.
We hear about that a lot.
Oh, I've been there. I got myself in big trouble over there. I spend all my money at Cruisin' Chubby's. I told you this story before where I woke up on the floor of my buddy's parents' house in Wisconsin, and I was using this really gaudy, obnoxious Cruisin' Chubby's T-shirt as a blanket. And I said when I woke up, who the hell bought this stupid-looking T-shirt? And my buddy said, you did, Jagoff. 4-0 Brad Ryder.
Mountain Dew was invented in this landlocked state in the southeastern region of the United States.
Oh, wow, you owe them a thank you.
Just 2 decades. I know. That's the greatest stuff ever. Just 2 decades after the beloved Southern treat, the moon pie was
Tennessee?
What the hell's going on here?
The moon pie. The moon pie, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, that was impressive.
What in the world?
Are you one of the founders of our country?
Yeah, I get this question was going to go on. I didn't think anybody would get that quick. Nice one.
Carve his head into Mount Rushmore.
Tennessee is called the volunteer state due to so many soldiers volunteering their service for the War of 1812. Tennessee.
I'm really excited for Brad Ryder that he's up 5-0.
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised.
But
I feel like the Colorado Rockies here in the third inning.
What a comeback it would be,
Pack it up and go home.
Taking a boot in the ass right now.
Really.
But I'm happy for Brad. But at the same time, again, all this hard work might go to waste here if.
I think of that sometimes.
Oh boy, it's all about Nick.
Randy, come on now.
What? I'm trying.
Here's a state.
This is not my wheelhouse.
I guess not. Here's a state in our union where back in the day, you could have attended a television taping of shows like The People's Court or Maury Povich or the Jerry Springer.
Illinois.
You are one pathetic loser.
Times
Finally.
two.
Both of you.
Yep. Times two. One of you said California, the other one said Illinois.
Yeah.
I said Illinois. We're both wrong.
Yes, a double whammy on the
right.
pathetic. I'll keep going. They invented the can opener, the tube of toothpaste, the Frisbee. They invented Hamburger Helper.
Oh, I love that
What?
stuff.
Dude, that's the best.
That's the best state ever.
And ESPN started up back there in 1900.
Connecticut.
You were both incorrect, but yes, the correct answer is Connecticut. Bristol, Connecticut.
And that means I win.
Oh, yeah, I guess it does.
But, yeah, I
all
thought
that
Jerry
work
Springer was in Chicago. I got a good Jerry Springer story.
I thought Jerry Springer was in Chicago. Are you sure you know what the hell you're talking about here, Dana?
Maybe I don't.
Are you sure you know what the hell's going on here?
It said it was.
Bristol, Connecticut was where ESPN started in 1985.
Where it is. Still
That's true.
Oh, it never went anywhere?
No, it's still there.
Oh, I thought
still there.
it went Summers. Brad Ryder wins by a final of 5-0. Mathematically, Randy Shaver is eliminated from Dad Fights Part 100 plus 64. Obviously, you're dying to tell this Jerry Springer story.
I am. Back in the day when I worked for the Twins, AJ Przynski and a couple players went to a Jerry Springer taping in Chicago because AJ went to high school with that Steve Wilkes guy,
Sure.
bodyguard.
Got another show after that.
Yeah, and so we actually went to one. I went to a Jerry Springer taping in Chicago, so that's why I thought it was in Illinois.
How was it?
Were you wrong about that, Dana? Was that in Chicago?
It might have started in Connecticut. Who knows?
There you go. There you go. Jerry Springer was such a nice, wonderful, funny guy. Wasn't he? He was.
Oh, yeah, we had him on a couple times.
Crazy show.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that show.
But we had a chance to talk to him once or twice, and I was so taken by his personality. He was just a wonderful guy.
He was humble, and he told us that when he walked out on the stage is the first time he learned what was going to happen on the show that day. They handed him a piece of paper, and he had no idea what was coming up.
All right. Since Brad whooped Randy's little Iowegian ass so thoroughly, yet we still have material left for this contest. Dana and Wapple, you two don't know what the hell's going on here, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, Ashley, you don't know what the hell's going on, do you?
In general? That's what I thought you meant.
Yes, that is true.
Were you not listening to the setup where I thought everyone could understand where I was going with that was
in general?
You could try to answer the remainder of our questions.
Oh my God.
Sure, yeah, I can do that.
If in fact you don't have this in front of you.
I don't have it in front of me right now.
Let her buck. What's your name again, Josh?
Wouldn't that be something if I didn't know the answers and I was just hitting buttons over here?
That's true. You're the guy that hits if it's right or wrong. Ever wanted to honor a frozen dead guy? You can do so in this mountainous state at the annual Frozen Dead Guy Days Festival, which honors Grandpa Brito, a Norwegian man whose dead body is stored in a homemade cryo lab inside a shed. Afterwards, have a meal at the world-famous restaurant Casa Bonita, a real restaurant featured in the fictional South Park located...
Colorado.
Colorado is correct.
I was thinking that when you said mountains, but I wanted to wait a little bit.
Casa Bonita.
Today's dad fight was Randy versus Brad, and Ashley has more points than Randy does.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
All right, Ashley, try this one. The Twinkie was born in this year's state. The first Dairy Queen. It was a setting for a great movie or two, like, say, The Untouchables and the Blues Brothers. On St. Patrick's Day, they dye their entire biggest city's river green. What state?
Illinois.
That's right.
You're dominating.
Cool. I'm pretty proud of myself.
This question here, I think this is how I knew Randy, where he was going. Every state has an official state bird, but this is the only one in our great nation to feature an official state possum, and his name is Pogo. Should you find yourself pondering how corporate radio rules or what to mix with rum or Jack, then, like Ray Charles's cover song from 1960, you might have this state on your mind, as it hosts the headquarters of both Cumulus Media and Coca-Cola.
Georgia.
Georgia is correct.
Oh, so earlier when Randy guessed Georgia, when you said Randy, did
I said
you know
Pepsi earlier.
Yes, I did know the Coke.
I knew exactly, what he was thinking.
I was trying to remember what you said earlier, and I couldn't.
Ashley, this state invented windshield wipers. They were infamous for their thriving bear wrestling scene in the 1990s.
What in the world? Cool.
In 1954, a lady took a confirmed meteorite to the skull and survived in this state. And in 1974, a hit song was written about the state by a Florida-based band called Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Alabama.
That's right.
Jeez, you're dominating.
I had never heard this. I had never heard this before. Someone jump in and interrupt me if they had before yesterday. In the 90s, they were putting bear wrestling shows on from town to town in the state of, not the 1890s, the 1990s. They would have one-on-one fights between human beings and bears. You could drink beer, get a plate of nachos, and watch this happen.
That
Ain't
sounds
quit now.
awesome.
We just started. We got to get these people a show, man.
Yeah, you're right.
Test them out. I'm just gonna be right over here. Come on, dude.
You're just nothing but a dumb bear. Smack, smack. Yep. Woo. Crazy fist. I'm coming with crazy fist. Huh? This is fine. He's not doing anything. Flint, can you dig it? Jackie Moon!
As you might imagine, in the case of the Alabama bear wrestling of the 1990s, as you might imagine, there were allegations of horrible animal cruelty where they would handicap these animals and drug them up so people weren't killed violently in every town that they went to, but F me running. When I read 1990s, I thought it was a misprint. I thought it had to have been the 1890s.
Yeah.
We got one more.
Ashley has not had an incorrect answer question yet, has she?
Not at all.
No.
Well, that's not fair. Nobody's competing against her, and you get to read the entire question.
Listen to Randy.
Well, I'm just...
And we tell people that you're the most competitive guy we've ever met.
Randy is just a 26-year-old girl.
We're horsing around. Lay off the 26-year-old.
We should have had Randy against Ashley for these last four questions.
Since becoming the 29th state, December 28th, 1846, the state that is first in beef, pork, corn, soybean, and grain production also produced the world's largest wooden nickel,
Minnesota,
the world's largest bullhead fish statue, and the world's best and largest bubble butt on a broadcaster.
Iowa.
Iowa is correct.
I was waiting for you to mention the Corn Palace. Isn't that where the Corn Palace is?
No,
South Dakota.
South Dakota.
South Dakota. Wow, that
is boring.
That is a place you want to go for sure.
Oh, it's so boring.
Randy, when you meet somebody for the first time, when they ask you where you're from, do you say Iowa or do you say Minnesota?
Oh, I'm from Iowa.
Okay.
Originally.
Well, I know, but you know how some people operate.
Well, I've been here forever.
Right. I mean, some people change that answer, don't they, Josh?
Oh, yeah. I went to L.A. once to visit a friend, and when people ask me, I say I'm from L.A. It makes me more interesting.
That's true.
Why is that? It's like we've known people that grew up here, and you ask, "Oh, where are you from?" And they moved to L.A. a month ago. I'm from L.A.
My blood pressure can't take that conversation because it's just one of the more frustrating things I've ever encountered in my life. No, you are not from L.A. You're from Bagley, Minnesota. Okay, it's okay that you're from Bagley. It is, but they don't think so. So they change their, they want to become a different character. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They want to avoid those humble beginnings. Now I'm from it. No, you're not from.
I proudly say where I'm from all the time.
Where are you from?
Clara City.
Clara City.
Do they say the same when they talk about you proudly?
No. Likely not.
We got to go have fun with your weekend, Randy.
Have a great
Shaver.
Easter.
Yes.
All right, yeah, you guys
I forgot about that Easter gimmick. Yeah, okay, you guys have a good one, too. Coming up next,
Gimmick.
well, it's very,
bittersweet?
This is perfect timing that it's a religious weekend because coming up next, we'll have a sit-down with our porn star friend, Jordan Maxx.
Half-assed morning show. They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance. 93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
The countdown is on for the 2024 NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light, live from Detroit, and you can attend in person for free.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
See the next NFL stars and experience the ultimate NFL fan festival, featuring live concerts, interactive games, player autographs, and more. The NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light, April 25th through 27th. Visit NFL.com/draft access to register for free entry today.
The 93X Half-assed morning show.
What in the actual are you guys doing?
On 93X.
I don't know. We don't know. Damn, it's 8:34 on the Half-assed morning show. We're back here. But I'm not excited where we're going with this. Don't get me wrong, I'm always very happy to have our friend Jordan Maxx in studio, but it's the fact that she's here to say goodbye that's got me down.
Yeah,
too
hi.
bad.
I'm sorry,
Hi,
guys.
Jordan.
Hi.
Jordan Maxx is headed out to California, and I got the blues.
Aw.
But you were nice enough to stop by before you take off. Hi, Jordan.
Hi, good morning.
Well, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, how you been? It's been a long time.
Yeah, I've been great. Just super busy with work and getting ready for this move. I'm not moving until the end of May, so I'm here for another month and a half or so.
Topless going away party.
Let's do it. Why not?
All right. Not moving until the end of May?
Yep, true.
Well, good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What started all this idea? Just, the traveling back and forth got to you and all that?
Yeah, totally. I just felt like it was time. It was time to move forward.
And you know people over there.
Yeah, absolutely. I've
got
been
friends.
going there for 4 or 5 years now, back and forth, and I actually went to college in Los Angeles, so I used to work there, or I used to live and work there. So
dang,
yeah, that travel would get rough.
yeah, yeah, 4 hours each way.
You know LA, you know people.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be a good change of pace.
Well, here's the thing. We were just talking about this a few minutes ago. After you're back in LA for a while, are you still going to tell people you're from Minnesota, or are you going to change that answer to I'm from LA?
Oh no, I'm always gonna say I'm from Minnesota.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got
we
lots
knew
of
you would.
pride about being from here.
As you should.
Yeah.
I told you she was a keeper, Wapple.
Yeah, you did.
Well, that's great. Have you settled on a city exactly? Maybe you don't want to give out that information.
No,
but
not yet. I'm actually going out there in the middle of next month to look at apartments and sign a lease. So,
what do you think you'll miss about Minnesota when you're back in Cali again?
oh gosh.
Besides us, of course.
I mean, besides you guys.
Right.
Oh, can I make a guess real quick, Jordan? The Timberwolves.
Absolutely. I'll miss Timberwolves games. I'll miss some of the really good restaurants here. Bar La Grasse is a favorite. I'll miss lots of stuff. Lots of bars where I usually hang out with friends. The local watering holes. So,
Are the people really that different out there in California?
no, it all depends on the circle of people. It all depends on who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of Minnesotans out there.
Oh, there's so many. Yeah, there's actually a Facebook group called Minneangeles. Yeah, cute for like Minnesota transplants.
That's funny.
So yeah, and so if you're like, hey, I'm missing a Juicy Lucy. Where can I get a good Juicy Lucy in Los Angeles?
You guys all get together for hot dish on Sunday nights?
Oh yeah, definitely. State fair potluck. Yeah.
I've never been. Am I the only swinging D amongst us that's never been there?
No, me neither.
You guys have never been to Los Angeles.
No, I mean, I was at again, you hear this a million times over in your lifetime. I was at the airport. That was it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I've been there a few times.
You have a reason to come visit now.
My sister lives out there, and one of my better friends lives out there, so I've gone.
Oh, yeah. It's so great.
Didn't you say once, Josh, that you wish they'd move California even a little further away?
Yeah.
Because your sister's out there?
I was a little disappointed. Went to Los Angeles, and, we saw the Hollywood sign, went to Beverly Hills and stuff, the walk.
Yeah.
Hollywood Walk of Fame, whatever they call it. I was kind of disappointed, to be honest with you.
You know, it's overhyped.
It really is overhyped.
Yeah.
Like, why can't I think of the name of that? Is it just the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a garbage pile around there.
Oh, absolutely.
And Beverly Hills was nowhere near as fancy as it looks on TV.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
What did you say about pee-pee, Wapple?
Oh, it smells like pee on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
It does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you mentioned, Jordan Maxx, that you have friends out there.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous friend you could contact when you get to California?
Ooh. I don't know.
Do you know the guys in Sum 41?
Actually, I know guys who know guys in Sum 41.
I know somebody who knows
somebody who knows somebody. Yeah.
Who's the most famous person you could contact when you get to California?
Probably.
Well, you know some professional wrestlers, right?
I know some pro wrestlers.
Yeah.
I would say it's a top. Well, for this, there's two people that are coming off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I will, for the sake of the audience,
Yeah.
maybe not knowing who the other person is, Vince Neil.
Dude.
That's sweet.
Yeah, Vince.
Why now?
Vince and his fiance.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned you hung out with them.
Yeah, so I might hit them up. I know they have a house out there, but they're mostly down in like Nashville, Tennessee, I think. But great couple, great guy, great girl, super fun.
This is only for hardcore Motley Crue fans. But,
yeah.
When this question I have for you is for hardcore Motley Crue fans. When Vince is talking to you just face to face, does he say tonight over and over again the same way he does it? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Anyone who's ever gone to see Motley Crue in concert, everything is tonight. How you doing tonight? We got a little red hot for you here tonight. Well, that's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. No, great. Awesome. Really looking forward to it. But I am already planning my first trip back, which will be for the State Fair.
Of course.
Can't miss that. You know,
there you go.
Well, we'd love to have you back in studio.
Oh, I'd love to come back. Of course.
Do you think your
Get
LA
y'all caught
friends?
up.
Do you think your LA friends would get the State Fair here in Minnesota, or would they look around and say, "What is this mess?" You know what I mean?
Well, there's like an Orange County Fair, which is pretty similar, but it doesn't really hold a candle to the Minnesota State Fair.
Mhm.
But they've got their, fair share of deep fried foods and barn animals and stuff like that down there.
Sure.
But no, actually, when I was living in Los Angeles, I lived there from 2010 to 2013, and I was dating a guy. And he grew up in Los Angeles, and I brought him to the State Fair for the first time, and he was like an alien, like on another planet. He didn't know what a cheese curd was.
Oh.
Right. He didn't know what a deep fried cheese curd was. He didn't know, all about eating things on a stick.
Right.
So
did he love it? I mean, I've heard from people that are
Oh, yeah.
totally clueless. They fall in love with it.
Oh, he fell in love with it for sure.
He probably didn't understand the idea of walking through an endless amount of barns,
Right,
looking
yeah.
at
No,
piles of animal feces.
Giant animals about to give birth.
Yeah.
Let's go
Aw.
watch.
Yeah, no, for the next 3 years, we decided to come visit for the State Fair as opposed to Christmas. That's how
Okay.
much he loved it.
That's
So-
great. That would be interesting to take someone who's lived in the city their entire life, just take them one lap around the Miracle of Afterbirth barn there at the State Fair. They'd be thinking, why are people in line to see this?
Right.
Yeah, let's get some corn and then let's go watch Pet Surgery.
Let's drink all the milk we can drink for $1.
Go watch dogs get neutered.
Oh, yeah. I've saddled up and watched the Pet Surgery before.
Dude, same here. It's interesting.
What the hell? All right, so you're coming back for the fair
Yeah,
in August. Well, make sure you swing by.
absolutely.
Stay in contact with. You got any new porn?
Absolutely.
People are saying, "Hey, cut to the chase. Where are the new porno movies? What do you got going with that?"
I've got lots going on. I just filmed about 6 6 scenes back in February.
Okay.
The beginning of February when I was out in Vegas for the AVNs, and I was out in Los Angeles working. I've got about 6 new scenes coming out. 3 of them will be on my OnlyFans, and then 3 of them you'll just have to wait and see.
All
But
right.
I'll be promoting them on my Twitter. Or X, I don't know what you want. I will never not call it Twitter, but
I think
that's
everybody
me.
calls it Twitter.
Yeah.
Or else, it's like they have to say on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yes, formerly known as Twitter.
That's more annoying than somebody just calling it X.
I battle with this stuff every day, as you guys know. What do I call it? What do I call it?
Calls me in the middle of the night shaking.
Yeah, I sweat it out, man.
I don't know.
I sweat it out. I got an idea for you for when you go to California.
Yeah.
Jordan Maxx,
Of
who's
course.
our guest here in studio. Before we go to break, I got an idea for you. I was just reading about a company in California that can set up something here for you. You can go up in a hot air balloon and have sex in it.
Oh.
Have you tried that?
No. I've heard that there's a company in Las Vegas that you can rent their plane so you can join the Mile High Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
For that specific reason.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
But
That was
have-
crazy expensive, if I remember.
Yes, yeah. I have not heard about the hot air balloon. Ooh, that's interesting.
You should bring this up to
I think I will.
your porno people.
You'll have to give me the link. You'll have to give me some info.
I can-
of the company.
Right. It's called Magical Adventure Balloon Rides.
Okay.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
In a you're terrified already?
I
Ashley?
don't like it.
I don't like that kind of thing either. It's
Yeah.
in a town called Temecula.
Oh, I know where Temecula
All
is.
right.
Yeah.
They offer you a supposedly legitimate deal where you and a partner can fold each other in half in a hot air balloon.
But isn't there a guy like?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, but he's behind a curtain.
Oh.
Like
This
the
is-
Wizard of Oz.
Listen to this. This is so friggin' bizarre. It's part of their Mile High flight package. Here are the details before we take a break. The pilot takes you a mile up in the air, and you're free to tear each other apart, you and your partner. They separate the pilot from you behind a black curtain, so you have some privacy. And that curtain's just dancing back and forth, I bet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. The guy's supposedly behind a curtain. He also supposedly puts on noise-canceling headphones.
Sure.
So you
Supposedly.
can talk dirty as loud as you want to each other.
Well, you can put those on and just keep it on the aware mode so you hear everything that's going on.
Right.
They go up early in the morning, around sunrise, and they offer you champagne and breakfast. Yeah, let me have a big omelet before I...
Oh yeah.
Go up in the air and this thing is going to be swaying in the wind.
Right. They take pictures. What does this say here?
Pictures of what?
Free digital souvenir pictures. I imagine maybe you and your partner before you go on.
Before, yeah.
Okay.
There's like a before and after package.
Hair's a mess.
Yeah.
Right. $1,400.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I was going to say, wow, that's outrageous, but I have nothing to compare it to. So
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad.
No.
It sounds expensive to me, but
Yeah.
right, I don't know what a normal hot air balloon ride goes for.
hot air balloon sex ride.
I think I'd rather do an airplane.
Yeah,
Okay.
most definitely.
Than
There's
a
more
hot air-
control.
More
in that
control, yeah.
situation.
Well, because a few Valentine's days ago, I went to a resort with a partner, and we had the option, there was activities, so we did horseback riding, and then we were going to do hot air balloon ride, but the weather has to be so perfect for it. Because you don't want to get carried away,
Right.
So it just seems risky.
We all saw what happened to Joe Dirt.
Oh, right, exactly.
Jesus Christ. 1 minute he was in, he ended up $1,400 for
Okay.
you and another person to get in this hot air balloon and have sex. If let's say you want to have one of those 3-ways. Let's say you want to have a fivesome. It's $150.
Okay.
Yes. $1,400 for a couple, $159 for every additional adult.
Oh, wow. You could have a whole orgy up there.
But kids are free. I'm kidding.
And senior citizens get a discount too.
Yeah, $159 for every additional adult. Okay. HotAirFun.com. Don't forget that, Jordan.
Hot air fun. I'm looking it up right now. I am.
You see a photo of someone you went to high school with or something. Hey,
Right. Nah, you'll see my photo up there soon. No, I'm just kidding.
Is whether your professional or personal life, have you had an encounter in something exotic like this? Maybe something that could compare in some way?
Oh gosh. No, the most exciting place that I've had an encounter would be in like, that little room some people have under their staircase.
Like Harry Potter?
Yes.
Yeah. Like just like their little storage closet under their staircase. Yeah, definitely in there during a punk rock basement show.
Oh, wow.
That I was at when I was in my early 20s.
That sounds kind of awesome.
Yeah. So like the band was playing out there. And then it was just like my boyfriend at the time and me, and like nobody knew. It was super secretive.
You didn't miss your favorite song, did you?
Nah.
Okay, good.
No.
Under the staircase at the punk rock basement show.
I'm jealous of that one.
You can still make it happen, I'm sure.
That's true.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They can get pretty big. They can get 10 foot, 150 plus pounds, and they are a predator.
On 93X.
Man, all right, here we are. Porn star Jordan Maxx is in studio with us, and she's on her way out of town in a couple of months. She's moving out to California. Are there other places you've lived aside from right here in Minnesota and California, Jordan?
I've lived in Chicago. I was in Chicago when I was 20 for a little while. I was going to go to school out there, and then I, decided to change my path and went to Los Angeles instead for school.
I love Chicago.
Oh, it's the best.
too.
I was just out there earlier this month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
So much fun.
I've always been here. I've never lived anywhere else but here.
Okay, but you've visited places.
Sure.
So, yeah.
But if there was ever a city I think would be a decent and easy transition, it would be friggin' Chicago.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's like Minneapolis times 20.
Yeah. Bars and food and sports. It's just a little bit of a bigger version of what we got going here. I think I could make it in Chicago. Josh, do you think you could make it in?
I would have no interest in Chicago.
Even Chicago?
No, I'd much rather move to like. Now I want to become a buckle bunny in Montana. Well, like Wyoming, maybe Colorado.
That friggin' TV show really hit you hard.
Well, that's where I realized my dream of becoming a buckle bunny.
So really, if you had a choice, you go out into the middle of nowheres in Wyoming?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Maybe like in Oregon, something like that.
I'm with you, Josh. There was a time where I was like genuinely, when I got a divorce, because that's what you do. You're like thinking about, I have to change this and this and this. I thought, I looked up how much rent would be in Montana and stuff like that.
What about middle of nowheres like that, Jordan Maxx? Would you take any interest in middle of nowheres type stuff? Oof. I don't see you in the middle of a ranch.
No, I am through and through a city girl.
They don't have basement punk rock shows at a cattle ranch in Wyoming.
Exactly.
This kind of fits. I don't know if stereotype's the right word, but so I grew up in the city. I grew up in Minneapolis, spent 24 years there, and I'm fine never living in a city that big or certainly bigger again. And did you grow up in a suburb?
I did, but the suburb that I grew up in touched Minneapolis, so it was close.
Yeah.
So you were in a first ring suburb.
First ring suburb,
Yep.
yeah. So
I've never heard that term before. First ring suburb.
Yeah. So I don't know. Minneapolis kind of raised me. As soon as I was old enough to take the city bus, I worked at the Macy's downtown. I worked at all the nightclubs downtown. I don't know if you guys remember Block E at all.
Of course.
Yeah. I would go there, go to the movies, go bowling, play GameWorks with friends,
I've been carjacked in all those places.
Aw.
Yeah, well, would Wayzata be a first ring suburb?
Well, no, there's stuff. If there's stuff in between, it's not.
Oh, yeah. I've never heard that.
It's the ones that would border Minneapolis.
Okay, I've never heard that term before. I get it. We, of course, we would hit Minneapolis for Twins and Vikings games at the old Metrodome. But we didn't go to Minneapolis a hell of a lot. We had family in St. Paul. But maybe folks around my age will find this interesting. One of the first places we ever went in Minneapolis, once we were all driving, was Sun's T-shirt shop.
Oh, yeah?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, aside from ball games, skip the Twins and Vikings, one of the first places we ever wanted to go was the big old Suns t-shirt shop, so we could get all of our Motley Crue and Ozzy Osbourne and our Kiss posters and what a bunch of punks.
Even though I grew up there, we never went downtown. Uptown. That's more kind of where we'd go.
Yeah, sure.
New
Uptown
Capet,
for sure.
The music store was there. I used to hang out there a whole bunch. One of our favorite restaurants was there.
Hanging around the lakes looking for girls like Jordan.
Oh, yeah, we exactly cruise around the lake, stuff like that.
But I've never lived anywhere else. When I was my first marriage, there was a brief discussion of moving to Mississippi.
Well, that's where she's from, right?
That's where her family was living at the time. That didn't get very far. I could not pick nothing. I loved it down in the South, but I could not picture myself somehow trying to do a radio gig in a place like that. I think you have to be from there for the people to really embrace you. That's just my opinion.
I can't imagine ever leaving Minnesota. My wife would. If the kids went with us, she'd love to move someplace warm. Like every winter, she brings it up. She wants to be someplace warm.
Now,
we're going to have one of those when we're retire. If we can ever retire, wrong career for this, but if we ever can, we're going to live in different states, I'd imagine.
You and the wife will live in different states.
Probably, yeah.
Now, when I was a grade school kid, with my dad being in the trucking industry, there were, he was laid off a couple of times, and he sought some better options in other cities. Believe it or not, there was conversation of us moving to Green Bay.
Oh.
When I was about a 4th or 5th grader.
My parents talked about moving to Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin.
But worse than that, Wapple, again, because of issues with my dad's truck driving career, there was a conversation of moving to Kansas City. And that I'm very thankful we didn't go to Kansas City when I was 12, because I'd probably be a Travis Kelce fan.
Oh, I bet you would.
And I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
You'd be a Swiftie. Yeah, the whole thing.
Gross.
My dad, when I was in 5th grade, my dad moved to the East Coast for a while, looking for a place in New Jersey and then Maine. So we had thought maybe we were going to move to one of those.
You would have gotten your ass kicked in New Jersey.
Probably, yeah.
God dang.
Probably, unless they felt bad for me. We can't kick his ass. We're going to look like douchebags if we kick his ass. Did you just have a birthday, Jordan?
I did, yes, on Tuesday.
Well,
happy birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
People know. People have been texting in.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
Wanting to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you so much. It's so kind.
Well, if somehow we don't run into you by the end of May.
I'll be around.
Okay, well, just in case.
But just in case.
Good luck in California.
Thank you so much.
We've always had a good time with you joining our program. We really have, and we hope everything turns out wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be back for the state fair, like I said. Maybe I'll even come back, Toys for Tatas this winter. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be really great.
Thank you very much, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.
Nice to see you again. Safe travels and all that.
Thank you so much.
You know what? Where can people find you? Digitally.
Digitally, jordanmax.com. That's Max with 2 X's. That has all my links, my Twitter, my Instagram, my email if you want to shoot me some fan mail, and my OnlyFans as well.
All right. Yeah, thanks again.
Of course.
Shout out to Mr. Wood. Tell him can't wait to drink beer with you later from Mediocre Machinist Jesus.
You know what? F that. I'm going to go through a few beers later, too.
Are you?
Yeah.
Join Mr. Wood and Mediocre Machinist Jesus.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I didn't think you would. Shout out to Pack Rat Jesus and his son. They're pumped to be heading to their very first Timberwolves game on Sunday. Happy 28th anniversary tomorrow to Hot Mama Jesus and formerly Metro Transit driver Jesus. Congratulations to Junkin' Fools Jesus and Book Nerds Jesus on the newest member of the Brotherhood, Little Oliver, who joined the world yesterday. Happy 35th to PD Midwest Jesus on Sunday. Happy birthday to Jake from Dad, Welder Tim Jesus. Happy birthday to you, Ben, from Prolapsed Anus Jesus.
Oh, come on!
I like to save the real gross ones for last.
That sucks.
Come on.
I like to leave you with that. And before we go, another reminder to listen, text, and win tickets to the Twins home opener all weekend long, starting today after 5. Happy Easter and have a great weekend.
The 93X FM Morning Show. 93X.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.